That's 313-5000, mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154, Equal Housing Lender.
Summer deals, Marty.
Oh, what you got on sale there, Marty man?
Everything.
Well, over at Victory Lane Chevrolet, they're overstocked with buybacks.
What's a buyback?
Well, Victory Lane buys back your trade-in no matter how many miles on it. So buyers can just drive to Fowler and Winkler and get more for their trade. And new Chevys for thousands below MSRP.
Thousands for less?
That's right, Marty. Get more for your trade and new Chevys for less at Victory Lane. Bet you can't say that twice.
Hey, I can do it. No problem. And get more for trades and new Chevys for less. More for trades and new Chevys for less. How's that, buddy?
Oh, thanks, Marty. Now your customers know where to go. Your vehicle is worth more than ever before. Cash in now during the big summer buyback event at Victory Lane Chevrolet. New 2021 Silverado 1500s, thousands off MSRP, or choose 0% for 72 months. Find new roads. Online, victorylanechevrolet.com. Offers with approved credit. Dealer retains all rebates. Offers cannot be combined. Expires 6/30.
Are you ready for kids who eat healthy? Good nutrition can lead to great things. To find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed, go to mypyramid.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and USDA.
Lead, inspire, change the world again. Join thousands and find which volunteer opportunity is best for you. Call 1-800-424-8867 today or visit www.getinvolved.gov. This message is brought to you by the Corporation for National and Community Service and this station.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 6 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
Searching for survivors. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. In the rubble of a collapsed condo tower near Miami Beach, Florida.
Look at oh my gosh. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life.
He was evacuated from his hotel.
More than 80 fire department units have responded to the scene. At this time, there is no word on just how many people were inside the building at the time. There are reports of people being rescued from the building.
Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer, firefighter, was overheard saying there are multiple casualties. In Volusia County, there's a manhunt for the gunman who shot a Daytona Beach police officer in the head, gravely wounding him last night. The officer was found lying on the ground. His body cam video showed them what happened and helped police ID the suspect. That shooting was hours after President Biden focused on gun violence and his strategy to deal with rising crime across America.
We know that if there is a strict enforcement of background checks, then fewer guns get into the hands of criminals.
He's taking action to further crack down on gun dealers and trafficking, while also directing federal resources to help local law enforcement and support community-based violence intervention. Now, the president's expected today to meet with a group of bipartisan senators who say they've worked out a framework for a compromise on an infrastructure rebuild plan. And then later today, the president will travel to North Carolina to keep trying to drive up COVID vaccinations. Vice President Harris will join him. Tomorrow, she'll take a trip Republicans have been demanding for months, going with the Homeland Security Secretary to the border, visiting the El Paso sector.
Republicans say it's just not the best place to see some of those problems. Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, said in a statement, meaning of the vice president, she will fail in her mission if she refuses to speak to residents of the Del Rio sector, that's another part of Texas, whose homes and ranches are being overrun by gangs and smugglers.
That's Fox's David Spunt. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News, traffic.
Good Thursday morning. We have a crash we're watching along I-75 northbound, just south of Colonial Boulevard. No roadblock there. Just watch out for some troopers off to the side of the road trying to get that cleared up. Looking good along the rest of the interstate. No delays right now on US 41. Heading through Collier County, seeing some slowdowns, though, northbound along Collier Boulevard, 951 out there. Heading up toward Golden Gate Boulevard and farther north as well, some stop-and-go traffic. Just past Vanderbilt Beach Road, heading toward Tree Farm Road. May want to take Logan Boulevard instead. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Well, happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. Get ready for additional thunderstorms developing, particularly as we head into this afternoon with increasing clouds and highs topping off in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Storms wind down as we head into tonight. We'll be off to what'll be a slightly cooler start for your Friday morning, a low near 73 degrees. Scattered thunderstorms developing again throughout the day with a high of 90. To kick off the weekend, look for additional scattered afternoon storms for your Saturday in a high of 92. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
True relief for back and neck pain.
Back or neck pain is not just unpleasant, it can be debilitating, preventing you from performing your daily routine and even confining you to bed. In decades past, patients suffering from spinal issues were often just given pain medication, spinal injections, and, when they did not heal, often underwent spinal surgery. Luckily, there is now another option, non-surgical spinal decompression. At Johnson Spinal Care 596 Back, we use an advanced technology to apply a completely safe unloading force to relieve nerve compression associated with bulging herniated discs, sciatica, stenosis, scoliosis, neuropathy. This award-winning approach, safe for any age, has gained international praise from physicians for its success. Complete pain relief is achievable. Johnson Spinal Care is here to serve you. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for an immediate, no-charge telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Every day in business is a big day. Whatever your day brings, Comcast Business can help you handle it with reliable gig speeds and advanced cybersecurity solutions. Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary. Call for details.
When you need a new roof, it pays to deal with the best. King Roofing has built their business on a solid foundation of honest appraisals, fair pricing, and the finest workmanship. Your insurance may be paying the bills, but you'll live with your choice of roofer for years, even decades to come. Choose Roofing Royalty, and you'll never regret it. In Southwest Florida, there's only one King. Call King Roofing today.
Every castle deserves a king.
Hi, I'm Ty Laster, Managing Partner and CEO of Key City Capital. So why are we here in Southwest Florida? Well, at KCAP, our mission is to connect capital to wealth for all of our partners through passive real estate investments. And very simply, we generate and distribute double-digit returns for our investors by investing in single-family homes and apartments and unique alternative cash-flowing asset-backed investments.
Call us today at 239-330-2080 or check us out online today at kcap925.com.
We'll buy your car today, on the spot, and pay you $500 more than anyone else. It's the ultimate buyback event at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. 4 days only. Market conditions and a record month have caused a massive demand for your used vehicle, allowing Sutherland to pay more than ever for trade-ins. Up to 130% book value and $500 more than any other written offer. No purchase necessary. Sutherland Nissan will buy your car outright. You don't need to buy one of our cars. Bring your vehicle to Sutherland and get paid up to 130% value today. Hurry, this event ends 7 p.m. Sunday. It's the ultimate buyback event at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. Nobody in Florida pays you more for your old car than Sutherland. Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car megastore. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details.
Summertime is the perfect time to get outside and get your morning going. So grab a Nature Valley granola bar, get outdoors, and experience the energizing power of nature this morning.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. You can go there and watch. Coming up this morning, we will be checking in with Federation for American Immigration Reform. FairUS.org is the website. They are on the border as we speak, so we'll be checking in with them on our southern border and find out what's going on there, especially on the heels of when we found out today or yesterday that apparently Vice President Harris knows where the border is. And she found it. And now that she knows where it is, instead of being able to be in Guatemala and Mexico before and being able to stop at the border, or I guess apparently there's no way to get there because it's too far a trip to make it to the southern border if you're heading back to the United States from the south of the southern border. Now she figured out where it is. And interesting timing considering that we have all of these issues along the border. Everybody knows what's going on along the border. The latest Harvard poll talks about immigration and the fact that 2/3 of the country agrees on something that might shock you and will absolutely shock the left in this country. And I'm going to have that coming up. A shocking number on the way. So we'll get into details on that coming up at 7 o'clock. Also, we're going to talk in just a minute about Joe Biden, who wants to own your guns. He wants your guns. He wants to take away your guns. It's all about guns. Anything that has to do with crime in the country, the more and more we hear about crime, and people are saying, why don't you do something about crime? Why is it in Chicago? Nothing is being done. We have shootings that are going on, 50-plus shootings over the weekend. Just over the weekend, and 10 deaths. Just over the weekend, we continue to hear about shootings and deaths and the crime that is ticking up in places like New York City, where they're actually voting in the city of New York for a new mayor. And it seems as if the number one priority is crime because it's getting out of hand in the city of New York. Who knew that from the depths of the 70s and the early 80s and how bad things were in New York City, to have Rudy Giuliani and even Mike Bloomberg to continue those policies and to clean it up and to get the crime out of New York City and get it back to a place that hadn't been seen before, only to have it go back to that again, thanks to the Democrat policies that are in the city right now, and now they have to go back and fix it all over again. We start to see this, but there's a theme, and I might suggest that I brought it up just the other day with some audio from Jen Psaki, and that is that the answer to fighting crime in the country was told by the White House press secretary a few days ago. It was kind of teased. The president made it known yesterday in what appears to be a very, I don't want to say it was, I don't want to say that people weren't really paying attention to what he was saying, or that it wasn't well received, that there weren't a lot more discussions about it, but there really wasn't. And just by hearing the president yesterday, now we know that it's true. They have a plan to fight crime. And it ain't the right one. As a matter of fact, some might say that with all the crime that's out there and the uptick, some have said and suggested that I'm not really sure Democrats care too much about fixing crime, because it fits into a narrative if you're trying to get rid of something. You see where I'm going here? And it has been that way all along, and I'll get to that in just a second. Not right all along, not like you are, but all along it's been the thought. All right, we are keeping an eye on this story this morning out of Miami about 2 a.m.
This is our hotel. We are right there on the second floor. The building, one of these huge buildings, gone. Right here beside us, the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
A building that collapsed on Collins Avenue near Miami Beach. Hundreds of rescuers on the scene. 12-story condo partially collapsed. A massive search and rescue still underway right now. Still watching this story and continuing to get more details on this. Champlain Towers. It's a condo that was built in the 80s, 1981 to be exact, according to the Miami Herald. 100 units there. About 2 a.m. it collapsed, and that is someone who was there on the scene who was staying. If you look at a map of where it is, it's right along the beach. Next to it is a hotel to one side of the condo, and that's where this individual was staying who saw this happen early in the morning. Don't know numbers of casualties, but they're saying that there were multiple. And so we continue to keep an eye on this. Just a horrific. And when you look at it, it's the way this building collapsed. It looked like something you would see in a war zone. The way it just kind of shredded and just fell. It is just horrific. It's scary to look at. And again, we'll continue to keep an eye on this story about this partial collapse of this 12-story condo. Just hours ago, about 2 a.m., a massive search and rescue in Miami, right there on Miami Beach, just north of South Beach, in between two of the what I'm trying to remember which section of it's north of Miami Beach, so just but near that area of South Beach. So we keep an eye on that. All right, 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. The president yesterday, a couple of things about what was said in this press conference: soaring crime rates. The president was trying to talk about funding police departments or having the police departments back. Really not about funding police departments, but more about things that we all know that this administration is not for, but did say some things about what we know they are for. And the fact is that they want to take away your guns. That's it. That's what it's been. And there are some that are starting to suggest right now, as horrific as this sounds, that the reason why Democrats have not been tough on crime in major metropolitan cities when they know exactly what to do and how to solve the issue, or at least tackle the issue, is because the more these stories percolate around the country, as horrific as these stories are, the more they can make the focus on the gun and less on the individual. It's something that Democrats seem to always do, is to make the focus on the gun and not on the individual. Now, if you think that's outrageous, if you think that's hyperbolic that I'm even saying, how could you possibly suggest that? Well, let me go back. I'm trying to see if I can find this audio just from a few days ago when, I couldn't figure out why this was said just the other day. And I'm trying to see if I can find it now, because it was Jen Psaki who brought up this idea that the problem right now, when it comes to crime in this country, is guns. That's what the problem is. And that's all it is. On the heels of the shootings that we heard about in Chicago, and Lori Lightfoot saying, listen, no, the numbers are looking good. Everything is looking really good, everybody. And yet we all know how awful the numbers have been. And when it was Jen Psaki who automatically pivoted to the issues of gun and gun control, people are like, well, that's your answer? And the answer might be because that needs to be the focus. And I think we found out a little bit about that yesterday, specifically. So some of the things that the president said yesterday. Let's see. First, we start with this little ditty as he was talking about ATF, and he says,
"It means confirming my outstanding nominee to lead the AFT. Excuse me, the ATF."
All right. So right out of the gate, we've got an issue with him saying the ATF. He says the AFT. Is that thing where everybody buys these online? Is that what that is, Jake? Is an AFT the thing where I get the original tweet from Jack Dorsey on Twitter? It's like I can spend $8 million on an AFT. Isn't that what that is?
It's called an NFT.
Oh, an NFT. Okay, sorry. Joe's not sure. So
not a joke.
Yeah, he was not sure either. Although, no, AFT, isn't that America's Funniest Towns? Or no. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Joe, when he's in the basement there, he's watching a lot of those America's Funniest
Teleprompter. That's what Joe's watching.
Ah! You are awake today. America's Funniest Teleprompters. Joe Biden trying to talk about a police chief. It's right there on the teleprompter. Just read the person's name. Joe, it's real simple. Just read the person's name. Talk about the police chief.
Police Chief Murray of the Baltimore, Police Chief Murphy, Paul of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
How did you go from Baltimore to Baton Rouge? Okay. I don't know why people don't want to pay more attention to Joe Biden when he speaks in front of a AFT, America's Funniest Teleprompters. But there you go. That's part of the problem that they have. But again, the messaging was clear as Joe Biden pivoted quickly to the Second Amendment, pivoted quickly to making comments that I can't imagine a president making. And I want you to hear this, because I know a lot of you probably didn't even listen to this speech because you knew where it was going. But here's the pivot.
The Second Amendment, from the day it was passed, limited the type of people who could own a gun and what type of weapon you could own. You couldn't buy a cannon. Those who say the blood of patriots, and all the stuff about how we're going to have to move against the government. Well, the tree of liberty is not water with the blood of patriots. What's happened is that there never been, if you want to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons. The point is that there's always been the ability to rationally limit the type of weapon that can be owned.
So that's what it is. A couple of things. We got to rationally figure out how we're going to keep guns out of your hands. We're going to rationally have to look at, with Merrick Garland there by his side, and say, listen, we're going to have to look at what's going on with guns, and we're going to have to figure out ways to take it away from law-abiding citizens, because we all know that if you take it away and restrict it from law-abiding citizens, then the lawless will be like, hey, these people don't have guns. We can't really go after them, can we? I mean, we got to stay away from them, and we probably have to get rid of our guns. Says nobody ever. I mean, common sense. And then making the outrageous statement about F-15s. Hey, if you want to come after the government, come on, but you're going to need some F-15s and some nuclear. What are you talking about? Why would you even say that to the American people? And again, when you're talking about the specifics of what he was trying to say, even though he couldn't read it off the teleprompter properly, Second Amendment from the day it was passed limited the type of people who could own a gun and what type of weapon you could own. You couldn't buy a cannon. Those who say the blood of patriots, all that stuff, I can't even say. I'm reading the transcripts of what he's saying, and even the transcripts going, I can't do it. Even transcripts, even software, AI software that's trying to follow transcripts, trying to create transcripts of what the president of the United States is saying says, like it's like I does not come. David Harsanyi, the great David Harsanyi from National Review, who is an expert on the Second Amendment, wrote a book on it. And so I'm not sure what you're saying is true. As the Daily Wire put it, a great article about this topic. I can't even begin to imagine. This is David Harsanyi talking about this in National Review. I can't even imagine what rickety basis there is for making such a claim, talking about the history of American guns. He literally wrote a book. I mean, I hate to use it literally, but it's about guns in America. Never once did I run across any law that restricted Americans from owning any weapons they desired, unless we're talking about blacks or Indians, because most gun restrictions in U.S. history have been employed to unarm the people who need weapons most. I want to read the book. The idea of the federal government conducting any kind of domestic gun policy whatsoever would have been a completely alien concept to anyone before the 1930s. Even then, no specific types of guns were banned from use. It wasn't really until 1986 that the fully automatic guns were effectively banned by the federal government. But yet, Biden makes the comments. The administration, along with Merrick Garland, who comes along with, hey, listen, if you want to be thankful for Mitch McConnell for one thing, aren't we thankful that Merrick Garland is not on the Supreme Court? Can we just say a big thank you? I mean, just once, let's not get carried away, to Mitch McConnell for at least making sure that didn't happen, that Merrick Garland did not end up on the Supreme Court. It's almost like Mitch knew something. Think about that for a second. Merrick Garland, Attorney General, the United States. That guy could have been on the Supreme Court. Okay. The point is very simple. I can't believe I can't find this audio. I thought I had it, and I don't. The left in this country, Democrats, desperately want to get rid of the Second Amendment. They want to water it down to the point where it is no longer in existence, or to get rid of it altogether. This is something that is not new. This is something not imagined. This is something that everybody knows. There are people who just don't believe that you should have the right to have a firearm. And it's not even necessarily everybody on the left. But the point is clear, that the way to get to that end will justify any means. And what if, not being hyperbolic, but what if the the means to that end is to not really fundamentally go after what is causing crime in this country. And the uptick of crime that is happening in major blue metropolitan cities, because that's a big part of what's going on in this country. And people are noticing, just like they're noticing critical race theory across the country. And, oh, yeah, there's news on that as well. But what if that means to justify that end of getting rid of your legally owned firearm is to not necessarily do what needs to be done about crime? Because the more it ramps up, the more you hear about it, then you can demagogue the issue, be hyperbolic, and say, we got to get rid of guns. It's the guns that are the problem. And that's all we have to do. It's the common sense gun control that we all need. And there it is. And don't try to go out today and buy an F-15 or a nuclear weapon, because you're not going to get it. I'm sorry. You get away from the nuclear weapons store. Get away from F-15s or us.net. You better just step away from the website because you're not getting one today. I'm sorry. We're going to check you out. We got to do some serious background checks on you if you want to fly one of those puppies. Yeah. All right. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com is the website. When we come back, let's see. We'll talk a little bit more about what's going on with the Vice President Harris. Now, all of a sudden, Jen Psaki's like, hey, now is the time to go to the border. Why is it now? Why wasn't it before? Why did it take 90-plus days for her to decide to go? What's the difference now? Then we'll get to that. And also, how dare you suggest that the Navy, that the military, that anyone in the military would be going woke? How dare you bring that up? How dare you question critical race theory being talked about and suggested reading in our military? How dare you say that? General Milley yesterday, Joint Chiefs, had something to say about it, being questioned by Matt Gaetz and others. And you have to hear this because his comments show how little he knows about critical race theory. How little people know. It's almost as if you just say enough to make it sound like you know exactly what it is to those that barely know what it is, that you feed into the narrative that everybody like you and me and people who have a problem with our kids being taught critical race theory in our schools, yeah, we're the crazy, the nut jobs, the tinfoil hat people. You see how a lot of those tinfoil hat conspiracies have been showing up lately, and they're not so tinfoily or hatty or however you say it. All right, we'll get to that coming up. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. The Drive at 5 with Trey Radel. 92.5 Fox News.
This Fox News Business Report is presented by Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions Incorporated, providing organic and botanical pest control solutions since 2011.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Antivirus software pioneer John McAfee was found dead in his Spanish jail cell yesterday of an apparent suicide. Authorities say he died just hours after a Spanish court approved his extradition to the U.S. to face tax evasion charges. Tech giants, including Google and Facebook, come up short as they lobby Congress against new legislation. A House committee approved a package of 6 bills yesterday that would give the FTC extensive new powers to regulate big tech. Dunkin' drops its Beyond Meat breakfast sandwich from most of its 9,000 U.S. locations, opting to only sell it at a few hundred places now. And stocks ended mixed, with the Nasdaq posting its 16th record close of the year. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report, invested in you.
If you're tired of the old cable news, you now have a choice. It's Newsmax. Every minute, Newsmax gives you the real news you can trust. Watch people like Ben Carson, Mike Huckabee, Alan Dershowitz, Dick Morris, Nancy Brinker, Mike Reagan, Rudy Giuliani, and more. Newsmax is on all major cable systems, or free on Roku, Xumo, Pluto, YouTube, and most smart TVs. Plus, download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone and start watching Newsmax now. America's trusted news.
Ever purchased an online item and either it doesn't fit, has missing parts, or became damaged?
Trying to save a few bucks can end up costing more. My Shower Door is a locally owned and operated family business that measures, manufactures, and installs our own brand of frameless shower doors right here in Southwest Florida. And we were just named Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. With almost 80,000 shower doors installed, we have the experience and expertise. Plus, estimates are always free. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
Tee up and swing into summer at Coral Oaks Golf Course in Cape Coral. Experience excellent playing conditions, GPS golf carts, and low summer rates. Play 18 holes with cart for just $35 before noon, $30 after noon, or play any day after 2 p.m. for only $25 all summer long. Book tee times up to 7 days in advance at coraloaksgolf.com. We'll see you at Coral Oaks, where every day is a great day.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We want your car, truck, van, or SUV today. We are paying top dollar for clean vehicles. Before you sell or trade, call Lee Auto Group to get the most money for your car. Lee Auto Group, lee-cars.com. Don't forget the dash.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Are you looking to have built or repaired a shingle, metal, or tile roof? Do you want to hire a company where the owner personally inspects your job and every job? Hello, I'm Jimmy Williamson of WB Williamson Brothers Roofing. If the answer is yes,
844-WB-BUILT.
WB Williamson Brothers Roofing represents the fourth generation of a tradition that began with my grandfather back in 1967. And it's a tradition of building something that you can be proud to put your name on. If you need a quote for the construction or repair of a shingle, metal, or tile roof, call me, Jimmy,
844-WB-BUILT.
Or visit us at 2944 South Street in Fort Myers. Williamson Brothers Roofing also specializes in standing seam metal roofs and commercial flat roofs. Satisfied clients include Florida Gulf Coast University and Pensacola State College. Call Williamson Brothers Roofing at 844-WB-BUILT. That's
844-WB-BUILT.
That's 844-WB-BUILT.
By now, you've heard all of our ads. America's largest injury law firm. But what does that really mean for our clients, for you? It means that when you hire us, you don't just get a lawyer, you get a legal army, almost 800 lawyers alone. Your case is a big deal to us. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey Suncoast, get ready to explore big life by going tiny. Great American Tiny House Show is June 26th and 27th at Bradenton Area Convention Center. Tour tiny houses on and off wheels, plus schoolies. Talk to experts about the difference tiny living makes in their lives. Learn to reduce, reuse, recycle. Get your tickets online now at greatamericantinyhouse.show. Coming this weekend, June 26th and 27th at Bradenton Area Convention Center. Get your tickets now at greatamericantinyhouse.show.
Wink News traffic.
Good Thursday morning, dealing with one crash off to the side of 75 near Colonial Boulevard, northbound mile marker 136, but FHP saying everything is off to the side. They're not blocking any traffic, so not slowing your commute down along 75. If you're heading out on the bridge between the Cape and Fort Myers, we're running about 2 to 3 minutes on both the Midpoint and Cape Coral Bridge in each direction right now. Seeing some delays, though, on Daniels Parkway, passing right through 75. In Collier County, getting busy along Livingston Road at the intersection of Immokalee Road, and slowing down a little bit on 951 Collier Boulevard from Golden Gate up through Immokalee Road. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Well, happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. Get ready for additional thunderstorms developing, particularly as we head into this afternoon with increasing clouds and highs topping off in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Storms wind down as we head into tonight. We'll be off to what'll be a slightly cooler start for your Friday morning, a low near 73 degrees. Scattered thunderstorms developing again throughout the day with a high of 90. To kick off the weekend, look for additional scattered afternoon storms for your Saturday in a high of 92. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I am mad at everything going on.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Got mold?
In your house?
What do I do now?
Call 239-936-1033.
Call Fire Service, your disaster response friends.
Summer deals, Marty.
Oh, what you got on sale there, Marty man?
Everything.
Well, you know, over at Victory Lane Chevrolet, they're overstocked with buybacks.
What's a buyback?
Well, Victory Lane buys back your trade-in no matter how many miles on it. So buyers can just drive to Fowler and Winkler and get more for their trade. And new Chevys for thousands below MSRP.
Thousands for less?
That's right, Marty. Get more for your trade and new Chevys for less at Victory Lane. Bet you can't say that twice.
Hey, I can do it. No problem. Get more for trades and new Chevys for less. More for trades and new Chevys for less. How's that, buddy?
Oh, thanks, Marty. Now your customers know where to go. Your vehicle is worth more than ever before. Cash in now during the big summer buyback event at Victory Lane Chevrolet. New 2021 Silverado 1500s, thousands off MSRP, or choose 0% for 72 months. Find new roads. Online, VictoryLaneChevrolet.com. Offers with approved credit. Dealer retains all rebates. Offers cannot be combined. Expires 6/30.
Manufactured in the USA, Plantation Shutters for You is the best choice for plantation shutters. Custom measured and installed just for you. Built to last forever. They will not be undersold. Start with a free consultation. PlantationShuttersForYou.com. And God bless everyone.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Miami area attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com. Se habla español. Legal services available in English and Spanish. Miami, Florida. Lisa Carges, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. Announcer is a paid presenter.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling tip for the day. When you call us at 239-482-1542, what you'll get is a warm reception. We'll send out a real NATE-certified expert mechanic who will treat you and your time with respect. Our team will help to inform you of the situation and correct any issues that we find. Our goal is to make sure your experience with our team is a pleasant one, and we work very hard every day to meet that goal. Kobe is who we are, and cooling is what we do, but we also know we're nothing without you. Thank you, Southwest Florida, for almost 70 years of trust in our family. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949, serving local Southwest Florida families for almost 70 years.
Lusk, Drasites, and Talisano believes winning cases is no accident. Your case is important. Pick a firm with resources to actually prosecute your case. If your case is accepted, you're guaranteed to not pay a single penny in fees or costs unless you get a favorable settlement or verdict. Lusk, Drasites, and Talisano has over 35 years of experience handling personal injury cases in Florida. Visit LDTlaw.com for a free consultation today. Winning is no accident. Lusk, Drasites, and Talisano. LDTlaw.com.
We believe in better. A better way to invest, a better way to serve you, and a better result. We can help you determine how much risk you're taking, red flags that could be potential problems for you, how much you're paying in fees or commissions, potential tax liability, or even how to address Social Security.
Tune in to WealthWorks Radio with Eric Carney every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. on 92.5 Fox News Radio.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Sam Adams is offering to pay a $10,000 wedding bar tab for couples who include Sam Adams Summer Ale in their wedding vows. This is great. Half the grooms in Boston already planned on saying it, but now they might get paid.
Is that true? Are they really going to do so? They would pay the wedding bar tab. Okay. Up to, what did they say? Up to $10,000 wedding. So would you do that? Would you, in your wedding vow, like, I mean, think about it. If nobody does it, they already got the advertising that they needed, right? That's it. We're late night comics are already talking about it. So even if nobody decides to do it, then they're good. But I'm wondering if is there a creative way that you could do it? I mean, if you did a wedding, like if you did your vows, I'm trying to think if there was a creative way to do it. And dearest, I love you so much. I know that Sam never meant that much to you, and that Adams guy was really not really much. But it's such a beautiful summer that we're getting married, and your dad's name is Al. Lynn. No, I don't really know how that would work, but well, they got the advertising they were looking for, and look what I did. I helped. Sorry about that. 239-479-5592. All right, coming up, a teacher in Texas giving you every reason you need to have to continue to fight against critical race theory, and how there are people who are right now doing their best, even in Southwest Florida, to try to spin their way out of this. There's a reason why it is one of the biggest stories out there, everybody. And it's one of the biggest stories because across the board, we are seeing more and more parents that are standing up, more and more parents that realize what is happening, more and more that are getting off the sideline and into the game. And we're starting to see it get into places that we never thought in a million years it would be, like the military. And we talked yesterday about there in the Navy, about how a high-level U.S. Navy officer was defending anti-racist books, so-called anti-racist books, which are really racist books, in recommended reading lists. And again, we still continue to hear about this. You know, Senator Tom Cotton was making the argument to who was it? It was the Navy's Admiral Gilday, Chief of Naval Operations, and that sailors have to be able to read books to bring us closer together and to understand the best approaches to our culture, and to look at each other and to look at a different way and a different light. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we also heard yesterday about more of this discussion, more of the military and the Joint Chiefs talking about it yesterday as well. That these books that are on these reading lists that have to do with critical race theory are being defended as if they've read about critical race theory. Like they know specifically and intimately about what it is. So two things are going on with General Milley, Joint Chiefs of Staff, yesterday when he was questioned about this, about these books that they would like to see read in the military. And two important things that are going on. One, they know full well what's in these books. Both Mark Milley and Lloyd Austin on the Hill to testify before this House committee. Matt Gaetz wanted to talk about the issue of critical race theory and wanted to know his thoughts on this. A little bit about what Matt Gaetz said to him yesterday.
It is particularly helpful that you have said that the Department of Defense does not embrace critical race theory and that you think the discussion is not appropriate. I would suggest that it is the ideology that is not appropriate. And
it is absolutely the ideology, because people will tell you we're not teaching critical race theory as if there's a topic, critical race theory 101. That's not what it is, everybody. And you are all starting to realize that more and more, that it is an ideology, and it's deeper than that. It's a Marxist ideology, but we'll get into that in just a second, so let him go on.
It's particularly concerning to me that you have hired a critical race theorist to give you advice on personnel matters, and that person is Bishop Garrison. And I would particularly observe that on July 27th, 2019, Bishop Garrison tweeted regarding former President Trump, he's dragging a lot of bad actors out into the sunlight, normalizing their actions. And here's the relevant part. If you support the president, you support that. There is no room for nuance in this. There is no more, but I'm not like that talk. And then he replies to his own tweet with what seems to be a very ethno-nationalist hashtag Black44. Could you enlighten us as to what advice Mr. Garrison has given you? And are you concerned that while you testify publicly to our committee that the department doesn't embrace critical race theory, you have hired someone who is precisely a critical race theorist?
Now, is that true or not? And there's more audio that's coming up that will show that, man, it is unbelievable how a lot of what's going on with the military and the talk in the military, and even what is happening outside with some on channels that you don't watch, like MSNBC, that Donald Trump's name is being weaved into all of this, as you just heard. I'm not kidding. That continues to be the answer. So what is Secretary Lloyd Austin's answer?
This is the first I've ever heard Mr. Garrison be described as a critical race theorist. So this is new. And I'm sure
did you review his tweets before you hired him, personally? Did you review his tweets before you hired him?
I did not personally review his tweets.
I would just ask that maybe that be helpful. Is there anything you can share in just these final seconds regarding any advice he's given you?
Let me just share one other thing that you brought up, Congressman, about the input that comes to me. You know, I trust my leadership from top to bottom that they will give me fair and balanced and unvarnished input. And for you to say that people are telling me what I want to hear, I get it, but I'm smart enough to know
that does happen.
Yeah, you know, maybe they're telling you what you want to hear.
Oh boy. So, is the secretary from the top? Is the secretary being told certain things, and what are the things that are being discussed right now? Again, we're talking about critical race theory. Joint Chiefs Chairman Mark Milley wants to comment on C.R.T., wanted to comment on what Matt Gaetz was talking about and what he brought up, and he was given that opportunity. And I want you to listen to this because, again, this is what's important. There's a reason why critical race theory continues to be brought up, because now we're starting to understand more about what is being taught to our kids. And now what is being infiltrated, it's the plan all along. Remember, when people say, well, it's just a legal theory. That's all it is. It's professors a long time ago, legal theory. Yeah, that's right. And what ends up happening is these legal theories become things through academia that start to trickle out and infiltrate. And next thing you know it, there are political movements from college campuses that are based upon those theories, and they try to put them into action. And that's what's happening right now with the leaking out of and the disseminating of this critical race theory that was out there years ago, and how now the spin is on. You know, and I know, and we've talked about on this show, and you've probably listened to plenty of programs that are on this station and other places that you've visited, maybe podcasts, maybe networks, where you've heard the definition exactly what critical race theory is. And once again, understanding that critical race theory, in and of itself, in its essence, from the people who wrote it themselves, the academics, the ones who did write the book on this, if you will, Delgado and Stefanik in Critical Race Theory, an introduction, talked about how whites are racist. Many critical race theorists and social scientists alike hold that racism is pervasive, systemic, deeply ingrained. If we take this perspective, then no white member of society seems quite so innocent. Do you see This is their own words. These are the ones who created critical race theory that they talk about this. It's an academic discipline that holds that the U.S. is a nation founded on white supremacy and oppression, and that the forces are still at the root of society, and the only way to get rid of it is to completely destroy and tear down the American institutions like the Constitution and the legal system. That's all you need to know when you hear General Milley having to comment now, or having the desire to comment now, on the discussion back and forth with Matt Gaetz and Secretary Austin, and this idea of critical race theory being now taught and being asked to be looked into as something to read the books, and learn more about critical race theory. Listen to his answer. This is very telling after what I just told you.
On the issue of critical race theory, et cetera, I'll obviously have to get much smarter on whatever the theory is.
So a lot of us need to get smarter on what the theory actually is. Okay.
But I do think it's important, actually, for those of us in uniform to be open-minded and be widely read. And the United States Military Academy is a university. And it is important that we train and we understand. And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it. So what is it that caused thousands of people to assault this building and try to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America? What caused that? I want to find that out.
Okay. Why are we going into January 6th? Why are you doing that? That's interesting. But hold on. Let him go.
I want to maintain an open mind here, and I do want to analyze it. It's important that we understand that because our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians, they come from the American people. So it is important that the leaders, now and in the future, do understand it. I've read Mao Zedong. I've read Karl Marx. I've read Lenin. That doesn't make me a communist. So what is wrong with understanding, having some situational understanding about the country for which we are here to defend?
So let me get this straight. So you've read Karl Marx and Mao. It doesn't make you a communist. But what's wrong with reading about, how did he put it?
Having some situational understanding about the country for which we are here to defend.
Critical race theory, I just told you, and the idea of critical race theory and how it started in the legal aspects of in the areas of academia, and now how it's permeated, and what the people that have written specifically about and started the idea of critical race theory is talking about American institutions like the legal system and the Constitution and freedom and equality are camouflages for naked racial domination, and they have to be torn down. So when he says the country that we're trying to defend and learn more about it, how do you square that circle? How do you say I'm going to defend a country that is inherently something that has to be torn down? This is the book that he is encouraging. This is the teachings that he's encouraging our military to read. Do you see how that doesn't work?
And I personally find it offensive that we are accusing the United States military, our general officers, our commissioned, non-commissioned officers, of being, quote, woke or something else because we're studying some theories that are out there.
It's just studying theories that are out there. How dare you talk about this country or the military or in any way being woke, leaders being woke? I mean, he's insulted by that. How dare you say that we're woke? Give me one example of the military in one way, shape, or form being woke. You can't find one single...
Breaking news. A bombshell.
Oh, wait, this just in. Hey, the U.S. Air Force Base responded to controversy about a drag queen show hosted by the base by saying that the performance was, quote, essential to the morale, cohesion, and readiness of the military. I don't know, that sounds woke. Yeah, the Air Force Base staging its first ever drag queen show on June 17th. It was important in teaching military personnel the significance of drag in the LGBTQ plus community. Does General Milley know that? He's insulting that we would make that suggestion. I don't know. I'm just asking about, I don't know, is that woke or what is that? Or maybe that's not what it is.
That led to a power differential with African Americans that were 3/4 of a human being when this country was formed. And then we had a Civil War and Emancipation Proclamation to change it. And we brought it up to the Civil Rights Act in 1964. It took another 100 years to change that. So look I do want to know. And I respect your service, and you and I are both Green Berets. But I want to know. And it matters to our military and the discipline and cohesion of this military.
So you want to know what? We know the history of the country. Nobody has a problem with teaching the history of this country. Nobody has a problem with teaching slavery and some of the other things that have happened in the civil rights movement, and we go back in time. Nobody has a problem teaching our kids that because it's part of our history. He's saying that he's read up about critical race theory and that he thinks it's important that it be part of the military and we read up on it. I just told you foundationally what they're trying to do. And somehow he what? He thinks that's going to bring more cohesion to the military? That's going to bring more cohesion to our schools. Do you not see that all of you who are looking at people, whether it's a principal of a school or whether it's a school board member or whether it's a teacher that's out there that wants to teach this, that they believe that the best intentions are out there? Do you not see what this is all about? We don't want our kids being taught that we need to dismantle and destroy our institution and our constitution and legal system and more, and look at each other based on the color of their skin and not the content of their character. We're not doing that. But somehow you're protecting teachers and principals and school boards that do that. Why? Is it because you don't know enough about it? What are you afraid of? The benefit to pushing back, and as many people have, is to stop this so we can not have that happen. So why would you defend them? All right, we could talk more about this coming up. I know a lot of people want to talk about it as well. 239-479-5592. All right, when we come back, we do have an update from the border with Federation for American Immigration Reform. We're going to talk about the vice president making her way. She found the border, everybody. I guess tomorrow she's going to make her way up there. And it's funny because didn't Liz Harrington tell us last week that the former President Trump was going to be making a visit too? It's almost like, oh, okay, we'll go now. Oh, okay. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Miami area attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com. Se habla español. Legal services available in English and Spanish. Miami, Florida. Lisa Carges, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. Announcer is a paid presenter.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Fox News listeners, Saturday morning is the perfect time to talk boats and water fun in Southwest Florida. This is Adam Botana again from Baywater Sousa Boat Club. Join us every Saturday morning from 7 to 8 for the Baywater Boat Club Hour. We talk boats, fishing, boating hotspots, water quality, on top of Jake the Millennial and I just having fun on the radio. And if you don't have a boat, Baywater Sousa Boat Club has got you covered. Just call me, Adam, at 239-495-0455.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand, and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myShowerDoor.com.
Hey, we've got my friend Dave Meister on the phone, of course, with the Floor Meisters, the family-owned Floor Meisters in Naples. And Dave, listen, I know you got a lot of things going on. You're selling a lot of cord tech. That's great, but you got this 8,000 square foot showroom with a selection of carpet that is absolutely unbelievable as well. And the prices right now are pretty amazing. So I hear you got this whole thing going on with Dreamweaver carpets.
Well, we have the Dreamweaver Select, which is this is $3.99 carpet pad and labor, but this has a lifetime warranty for pet stains, abrasive wear, and even for steps, a stair warranty. Nobody's ever had that before.
Listen, if you haven't been to the Floormeisters, you really owe it to yourself to visit their store, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco. Whether it's tile, laminate, hardwood, or, of course, carpet, they've got it all. So give them a call today, 239-596-4964, or on the web at floormeisters.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1712. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1712. That's 800-575-1712. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse, Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader and home of the no closing cost mortgage. No points, no hidden fees, no loan costs, period. If the mortgage you have right now was done prior to COVID-19, you should call us for a free review. At Mortgage Warehouse, we understand how frustrating it can be to make your mortgage payment month after month, and the loan balance just doesn't seem to go down. The payment is mostly interest, but we can help with that. We can combine near record low mortgage rates with our local no closing cost program to improve your mortgage payment right away. You do not have to roll any closing costs into your loan balance to get these ultra low mortgage rates. You can apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com or call 313-5000. That's 313-5000, mortgagewarehouse.com.
A search and rescue operation. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's going on now near Miami Beach after a condo tower collapsed.
Some boom, and I saw some smoke over here, a lot of smoke.
Now to Fox's Evan Brown, who's live in Broward County, Florida.
Yeah, Dave, in the town of Surfside, this is where this happened. It's north of the city of Miami Beach. The mayor is now telling Fox affiliate WSVN-TV there is one death. There were a number of people who saw this oceanfront apartment building collapse at about 1:30 this morning.
When the dust cleared, there was the back half of the building, or back 2/3 of the building was gone. It's down to the ground.
Now, the rubble is still being searched now using canines. Some people are being pulled alive, including a young boy. But there are still a number of people missing, Dave.
Evan police in Daytona Beach are searching for the gunman who gravely injured a police officer last night who was found lying on the ground, shot in the head. Hours after President Biden put an emphasis on illegal guns and a strategy to combat rising crime.
This doesn't affect responsible gun owners or Second Amendment rights. It helps keep guns out of the hands of people who shouldn't have them in the first place.
Later today, the president will go to North Carolina to again promote the COVID vaccines. 60% of Americans in a new Fox poll believe that COVID leaked out of a Chinese lab. Now, China's crackdown on Hong Kong democracy has stopped the presses. Literally, Fox's Simon Owen explains live.
And Dave, there have been long lines at newsstands in Hong Kong today as people pick up the final edition of Apple Daily, a prominent pro-democracy newspaper which is shutting down as China tightens control. This man, a designer at the paper, asks, does this reflect the reality that Hong Kong is losing its freedom of speech? Apple Daily's assets were frozen last week and reporters were arrested under a security law imposed by China's central government.
America's listening to Fox News.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Wink News, traffic.
Good morning. We have a new crash along I-75 northbound right at the Lee-Collier County line. If you're heading out toward mile marker 114, you'll see a truck off to the right-hand shoulder on the grass, and it looks like a road ranger out there. Troopers getting on scene will let you know if they end up blocking anything, but right now there is no roadblock, and everything is moving up to speed on that stretch of the interstate north of Immokalee Road, heading toward Bonita Beach Road. Another crash off to the side of 75 at mile marker 136 near Colonial Boulevard in Fort Myers. 41 running up to speed and not seeing any delays right now out there. We are crash-free at this hour across Charlotte County. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Well, happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. Get ready for additional thunderstorms developing, particularly as we head into this afternoon with increasing clouds and highs topping off in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Storms wind down as we head into tonight. We'll be off to what'll be a slightly cooler start for your Friday morning, a low near 73 degrees. Scattered thunderstorms developing again throughout the day with a high of 90. To kick off the weekend, look for additional scattered afternoon storms for your Saturday in a high of 92. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We want your car, truck, van, or SUV today. We are paying top dollar for clean vehicles. Before you sell or trade, call Lee Auto Group to get the most money for your car. Lee Auto Group, lee-cars.com. Don't forget the dash.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Hi, I'm Ty Laster, Managing Partner and CEO of Key City Capital. So why are we here in Southwest Florida? Well, at KCAP, our mission is to connect capital to wealth for all of our partners through passive real estate investments. And very simply, we generate and distribute double-digit returns for our investors by investing in single-family homes and apartments and unique alternative cash-flowing asset-backed investments.
Call us today at 239-330-2080 or check us out online today at kcap925.com.
It's really a good feeling to know that when it comes to your house and all the water that is in every faucet, every place in your home, that you don't have to worry about the water smelling like chlorine or messing up your shower glass, your faucets, right, with that hard water staining, the drying out of your skin and your hair. Just imagine what that would be like. You don't have to imagine it. You can just do it. You call the Uniform Pentair water specialist. They can find out what's going on with your water and handle your city or well water issues. Yours, right here in Southwest Florida. With their mobile showroom, you can see for yourself that Pentair has both high-performance salt systems and salt-free solutions, too. And salt-free means no lugging in bags of salt for you, and that they can install that Pentair water system for you as well. You're going to love the way your water tastes from every faucet and the peace of mind that only a Pentair water system can give you. So call now and get your free digital Pentair water test. Save 15% on your whole home water system by calling 239-880-7799. That's 239-880-7799 or book online at PelicanWestFL.com.
Keeping your home and business cool is a struggle, but now you can be the insider on how it all works and how to keep it running when the heat is on. Join Matt and Justin from Island Air right here on Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. for the Island Air Hour, providing quick and effective solutions for commercial and residential air conditioning and heating systems. If you have a question about your system, you can call us right now at 239-747-1550, and we'll be glad to help. Serving Southwest Florida since 1972.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592. The talk and text line streaming live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate our good friend D-Ray. D-Ray, Federation for American Immigration Reform, fairus.org. He's joining us right now because, well, he's not in D.C. anymore. Well, not for the moment. He's not. Where are you exactly, D-Ray?
Hey, Drew. Good to be with you, buddy. I am in Sierra Vista, Arizona, which is right on the border with Mexico, or very close to the border with Mexico and New Mexico. So it's right in the southeastern corner of the state. But yesterday we spent the afternoon with John Ladd, who is a fifth-generation farmer. His fifth-generation rancher. His ranch abuts the U.S.-Mexico border. They have a nice, big, beautiful border wall there, and we talked to John about, his firsthand experience of kind of what has changed in the last year, and it's really very startling. Yeah. Also there, he said almost from the day that Biden took the oath of office, it's just been a complete flood of people coming into the country. The cartels are, trying to cut holes in the border wall so people can get through. What was also disheartening is there's all sorts of massive construction equipment that's sitting right there on his ranch that the U.S. public is paying, U.S. taxpayers paying $1 million a day. And this equipment is sitting idle because Biden will not allow them to build any more border wall. So, unfortunately for states like Arizona and Texas, now, John Ladd, rancher, he's paying federal tax dollars to have the border policed and protected. Now, and the federal government's refusing to do it. Now the state of Arizona is going to have to step in and do it. And so he's going to be paying twice for the same service because he's paying now state dollars are at work, and the Arizona National Guard is actually making repairs to his border wall right now.
Wow. It's unbelievable what's going on. And now on the heels of Vice President Harris saying she's going to make her way to the border, except they're kind of select locations, aren't they? Especially when you consider some of the things that are happening that they don't want to see, like going to see ranchers and people who have seen this for themselves, right?
Right. If she wanted to see what is actually going on, she'd go to McAllen, Texas. That's the point. Between McAllen and Brownsville, the very tips of the bottom of Texas are like kind of the closest points in the U.S. to Central America. And that's where you see the scenes of, dozens and dozens of people just streaming across the river. She's going to go to El Paso. She's going to be right in the middle of downtown. There's not going to be anybody crossing illegally, and she's going to go, oh, look, like we told you, the border is sealed. Don't buy it.
Yeah.
180,000 apprehensions in the month of May. At this rate, we're going to surpass the all-time record of 1.6 million apprehensions in a fiscal year. We're projecting right now we're going to hit about 1.8 million illegal alien apprehensions this year. The Border Patrol's coming out with some scary statistics about these guys. I mean, they've made 7,380 arrests of criminal aliens who've streamed across this open border. And, they're wanted for things, related to drugs, sexual crimes, burglary, assault, DUI, and illegal weapons. So it's not all happy on the border. There's some serious issues. And unfortunately, the border czar, who has said she doesn't believe that illegal aliens should be deported, is trying to put all the blame on Central America. Saying, well, you have political corruption, you have gang violence, when in reality, we're the ones to blame. Biden basically rang the dinner bell when he signed all those executive orders, and everybody's coming to dinner, and they're expecting a free meal.
Right. Yeah, and this notion that she says don't come, as if they're going to listen to that because the policies would suggest otherwise. And just saying it doesn't mean they're going to stop. And then ultimately, the fact that they are against the majority of the American people, we see more and more polling. A Harvard-Harris poll just came out recently talking about how two-thirds of the American people are talking about the fact that we should have left the Trump policies on the border alone, that those were working. Those were the ones that we saw, at least things that were happening along the border that people feel like was a positive, and yet we've gone the complete other direction. D-Ray, by the way, Dave Ray, Federation for American Immigration Reform, is at the border right now, and he's joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. I wonder how many people, you said that you're with a rancher there near in New Mexico, Arizona, in that area. How many people has he seen, witnessed crossing over? Has he talked to other ranchers, other people who have witnessed and have seen some of the things that they are seeing in Texas?
Oh, absolutely. In Arizona, it's mostly Mexican men coming over for jobs. In Texas, you got more of the families coming and so on. But when you drive off of his ranch into the little town of Naco, Arizona, those people live like they're in prison. There's bars on all their windows, bars on all their front doors, barbed wire on their fences around their houses. These people are used to being robbed on a regular basis because the government fails to control the border. But some of the fellow border ranchers are talking about, finding an increased number of dead bodies on their ranches. destruction of fence and water line that's happening as people are coming across. It's a really bad situation. I mean, and you can understand why the president of Central America was kind of Guatemala was kind of rolling his eyes when Kamala Harris came down to visit. I mean, can you imagine? She goes down there to lecture him on what to do about gang violence without first stopping by Chicago and Baltimore, where we have deaths from gang violence every weekend, to kind of give them some tips on how they could better manage it. I mean, both the presidents of Guatemala and Mexico have blamed the Biden administration for this, and I think everyone pretty much agrees with them.
Yeah, not to mention the drugs and all that are crossing over, and human trafficking and some of the things that don't get enough attention as well. Yeah, no doubt. All right, I'm looking at the time, and I know you got to run. You're a busy guy there along the border. Dave Ray, Federation for American Immigration Reform, fairus.org. You want to find out more about what's happening and solutions, that's the website to go to. All right, D. Ray, we'll catch up next week, okay, my friend?
Have a great day, Drew. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, we'll see you later. All right, there he goes at the border. And coming up, we're going to have some audio of the discussion now about Vice President Harris finally heading to the border. She's found it. And what about that trip and the specifics? And what did Jen Psaki had to say about the trip? You may be curious to find out the reason why she would go now. Because everything's better. It's getting better. She didn't really say that, did she? Oh, I don't know. We got the audio. We'll hear that coming up next. All right, let's take a break. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along. You can watch. DrewSteele.com is the website. It's made specifically to be mobile-friendly and for your smart device, even your computer. All right, let's find out what's happening with traffic up to the minute. Here's Therese O'Shea.
Good morning. We have a new crash along I-75 northbound right at the Lee-Collier County line. If you're heading out toward mile marker 114, you'll see a truck off to the right-hand shoulder on the grass, and it looks like a road ranger out there. Troopers getting on scene. We'll let you know if they end up blocking anything, but right now there is no roadblock, and everything is moving up to speed on that stretch of the interstate north of Immokalee Road, heading toward Bonita Beach Road. Another crash off to the side of 75 at mile marker 136 near Colonial Boulevard in Fort Myers. 41 running up to speed and not seeing any delays right now out there. We are crash-free at this hour across Charlotte County. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Well, after a wet day yesterday, look for additional scattered thunderstorms developing especially this afternoon with increasing clouds and highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Scattered thunderstorms stay in the forecast for your Friday and Saturday with highs remaining in the lower 90s. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
When your liberal relatives from up north come for a month, turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Run all along.
The thing about the Home and Auto Bundle from Progressive is that by now you've heard a lot of ads about the Home and Auto Bundle from Progressive. We don't even need the words the Home and Auto Bundle anymore to tell you that you could save big with the ring-tailed lemur from Progressive, or that every hot peach cobbler comes with round-the-clock service and protection. And that's the thing about the goat with magic powers. You've heard a lot of ads about the sushi in Vancouver. See how much you could save with the Home and Auto with the Shaman in the Jungle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
I received a call the other day from a woman. Her husband tragically was unable to call himself, but he had told her, if anything ever happens to me, call Morgan & Morgan. And what higher honor could we receive than protecting someone's family after they're gone? Life can be shattered in a moment. When that happens, know that America's largest injury law firm is here for you. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At Johnson Spinal Care 596 Back, I strive to offer the highest level of care for those suffering with back and neck problems. With unparalleled service and our award-winning non-surgical spinal decompression approach, thousands of people have chosen us to treat their back or neck problems. If you are seeking lasting relief that is proven effective without needles or surgery, then call today to see if you may be a candidate. This completely safe treatment can be effective for many conditions, including sciatica, ruptured or herniated discs, facet syndrome, compressed nerves, arthritis, and spinal stenosis. Additionally, people who had failed back surgery in the past often find incredible relief from spinal decompression. At Johnson Spinal Care, all our treatments are drug-free and non-surgical. We use new and comprehensive approaches that provide lasting relief. Johnson Spinal Care is here to serve you. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for an immediate, no-charge telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
The real estate market is really hot right now, but for how long? I'm Anthony Gomes from GomesMovesHomes.com. You've heard Drew Steele talk about me on his show. If you're thinking about selling your home for a premium price, now is the time. You can sell over market value without doing repairs, letting strangers in your home, and you pick the closing date. Learn how for free. No pressure, no obligation. Go to GomesMovesHomes.com. GomesMovesHomes.com.
What makes Genesis of Naples the #1 selling Genesis dealer in the nation? It's our incredible selection and professional sales staff. Hi, I'm Sheila Zellers, owner of Genesis of Naples. When I drive my beautiful new 2021 Genesis GV80 around town, the first thing everyone says to me is, "What is that beautiful SUV?" I tell them it's the all-new first ever SUV from Genesis. Then they usually ask, "How much does it cost?" I know it's hard to believe, but it starts at just $49,500 and the fully equipped Prestige for just over $70,000. It has an amazing interior and breathtaking design and your choice of turbo engines and rear and all-wheel drive. But that's not all. New 2021 Genesis G70s have 0% financing and 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. And we have a huge selection of the all-new 2021 Genesis G80s and G90s. Come visit Genesis of Naples on Airport Road or genesisofnaples.com.
All offers with approved credit on select models based on January 2021 retail sales. 72 months of $0 per month per 1,000 finance. No down payment required.
Hey, this is Papa with Casey, Carrie, and Cody. And as most of you know, when Irma hit in September of 2017, thousands of people tried unsuccessfully to call a roofing company, but all the roofers were so overwhelmed they could not handle or even answer those calls. Now here we are, 4 years later, and many of those same people are still waiting to have their roofs repaired. So, we are implementing our proactive list. If you want to be on our list, call me for our free total inspection. Once we inspect your roof, you will be on the proactive list. If or when the next storm hits, you will have no need to call any roofer because we will be calling you automatically to see if you need help. We can offer emergency repairs and tarp service or whatever your roof requires. Call Papa now for our free total inspection, 945-2700. We believe it's wise to be proactive and it costs you nothing to join our list. Call Papa for our free total inspection at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700.
License number CCC 1326213.
Inside the train testing facility, our heating and cooling products go through endless torture tests to ensure they can run through anything. And when we say torture, we don't take that lightly. We drop them, slam them against the wall, shake them, and then expect them to run without an extra decibel in our anechoic sound chamber. Without fail. Drop, slam, shake, silence. Drop, slam, shake, silence. And there's no end in sight. We test, so it runs.
Things are heating up, and you may notice that old AC system just isn't keeping up like it used to. It's time for you to get the Purified experience. Visit purifiedac.com to get special financing on a new system installation. Subject to credit approval, see dealer for details. Purified Air also offers free estimates and 24/7 emergency service so you can have the Purified experience when you need it the most. Visit purifiedac.com to get the Purified experience for yourself. That's purifiedac.com, license number CAC 1817070.
It's hard to stop a train.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Retire with Grace with Bob Grace, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon to get the answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retire with Grace, a Tri-Found company, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
And I will note that we're at this point in part because we've made a great deal of progress.
Wait. That's Jen Psaki saying the reason why we're at this point, the reason why now you have the Vice President of the United States getting ready to go to our southern border is because we've made great progress. Where have we made great progress? You just heard Dave Ray, Federation for American Immigration Reform. You just heard him describe the numbers that we're talking. In May, we have 180,000 illegals crossing the southern border. It's the 5th consecutive month of increase and the largest total in 21 years. How's it getting better? But that's what they... No, there's nothing to see here. Everything's fine. What else did Jen Psaki say about the vice president finally saying, hey, I now I know what the southern border is. Okay, I can go now. All right. And like D-Ray said, don't believe it. They're going to go to pockets that are going to already be cleaned up in such a way that she goes and says, listen, look at the progress. Look at everything going on. Everything looks really good. What else did Jen Psaki say about this trip?
This trip on Friday, which is being done in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security. Secretary Mayorkas is, of course, joining her on this trip. And the planning and timing of it was done in coordination with them, is part of the coordinated effort between her office, her work, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Health and Human Services, to continue to address the root causes and work in coordination to get the situation under control.
To do what?
Get the situation under control.
Get the situation. I thought there was no situation. Getting what under control? You mean the crisis? Oh, so you're going to get the crisis under control, but
a great deal of progress.
But it's because of the great deal of progress that's been made. Peter Ducey's questioning her. I love the questioning back and forth now that Jen Psaki gets with Peter Ducey, who steps up and has lots of questions, right?
So about today's announcement, why is the vice president visiting the border this week when earlier this month she dismissed a trip like that, saying it would be a grand gesture?
She also said in an interview with NBC that she would be open to going to the border if it was an appropriate time. She said that after she said that. So that's important context as well.
And important context, I've got the NBC interview right here. She was talking about how she hasn't been to the border, she hasn't been to Europe either. So does she think that these two things are the same?
And again, Peter, I think she also said in the same interview that she would be open to going to the border at an appropriate time.
No, I think it's funny because it's like Peter Ducey is like, Kamala Harris said that pistachio-flavored ice cream is really disgusting. Does she not like pistachio? But she also said that ice cream is super delicious, and as a whole, that it's fun that everybody has an opportunity during the summer to eat ice cream. Like, what? Like she said that this would be this grand gesture, and that she's not about. But she also said that, hey, listen, if the time was right, just this whole spin. When Jen Psaki talked about circling back, right?
I hate to disappoint you, but I will have to circle back with you on that as well. Circle back. Circle back.
Yeah, who knew that when she talked about circling back, she actually meant circling back to whatever she had on her mind from whatever question you asked, that she was going to just put you in circles. It wasn't really circling back to a question. It was more like just talking to you and running you around in circles. It's like a dog that chases his tail, only to discover that once he gets it, it's like, hey, that's my tail. Hey, why was I chasing that? Oh, look at Doc. Like, that's all it is. Good stuff. So the vice president's going to visit the border, and all you need to know is that when she goes, there's a lot of questions about where she's going to go, how it's going to go, the specifics of where she will be going, and what that specific location will look like in regards to what has been happening along the border, and with respect to everything along the border, will it look anything like that? And all the things that she has talked about, it's, well, as people have described before, I hope it's not going to be like that first trip where it was cringeworthy. Wasn't that the word that was used, cringeworthy?
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making. I've said I'm going to go to the border. And when are you going to the border, Vice President? The administration has asked. I'm not finished. I've said I'm going to the border. It's just a little cringeworthy.
It's just a little cringeworthy, that's all. That was from Avi Phillip on CNN. What's going on here? All right, so I guess we'll see. Actually, I don't know how many people are going to pay attention, because there's more going on, right? The fact that you really don't understand what critical race theory is, and as a matter of fact, all of you maggots, MAGAs, no, not my words, somebody else who was trying to explain critical race theory yesterday, who, in trying to tell you that critical race theory is something that is not what you're saying it is, but we have to tear down the system and an institutional network there has to be dismantled. Also brought up the word maggots, talking about MAGA, and kind of slipped and said that knowingly. You'll hear what that is next.
Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America.
NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1712. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1712. That's 800-575-1712. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What makes Genesis of Naples the #1 selling Genesis dealer in the nation? It's our incredible selection and professional sales staff. Hi, I'm Sheila Zellers, owner of Genesis of Naples. When I drive my beautiful new 2021 Genesis GV80 around town, the first thing everyone says to me is, what is that beautiful SUV? I tell them it's the all-new first ever SUV from Genesis. Then they usually ask, how much does it cost? I know it's hard to believe, but it starts at just $49,500 and the fully equipped Prestige for just over $70,000. It has an amazing interior and breathtaking design and your choice of turbo engines and rear and all-wheel drive. But that's not all. New 2021 Genesis G70s have 0% financing and 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. And we have a huge selection of the all-new 2021 Genesis G80s and G90s. Come visit Genesis of Naples on Airport Road or genesisofnaples.com.
All offers with approved credit on select models. Based on January 2021 retail sales. 72 months of $0 per month per 1,000 finance. No down payment required.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster.
Look at oh my gosh. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life.
The entire back half of a 12-story condo building near Miami collapsed overnight. That man's among hotel guests evacuated nearby. Alitza Bizios with WSVN Miami reports.
We have been told that there are likely several fatalities. We have seen fire rescue, though, able to rescue some people.
And that station reports the mayor of Surfside, Florida, has confirmed at least one death. The pop star Britney Spears tells a court in Los Angeles she wants to end her father's legal control over her life and finances.
She is demanding that the conservatorship she's been under for the past 13 years end. She says she has an IUD, or a birth control device, implanted inside her body. She asked for it to be removed. That request was denied. She said this conservatorship is doing me way more harm than good.
Fox's Carly Shimkus. America's listening to Fox News.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News, traffic.
Good morning. We have a new crash along I-75 northbound right at the Lee-Collier County line. If you're heading out toward mile marker 114, you'll see a truck off to the right-hand shoulder on the grass, and it looks like a road ranger out there. Troopers getting on scene will let you know if they end up blocking anything, but right now there is no roadblock, and everything is moving up to speed on that stretch of the interstate north of Immokalee Road, heading toward Bonita Beach Road. Another crash off to the side of 75 at mile marker 136 near Colonial Boulevard in Fort Myers. 41 running up speed and not seeing any delays right now out there. We are crash free at this hour across Charlotte County. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Teresa O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Well, happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. Get ready for additional thunderstorms developing, particularly as we head into this afternoon with increasing clouds and highs topping off in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Storms wind down as we head into tonight. We'll be off to what'll be a slightly cooler start for your Friday morning, a low near 73 degrees. Scattered thunderstorms developing again throughout the day with a high of 90. To kick off the weekend, look for additional scattered afternoon storms for your Saturday in a high of 92. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
92.5 Fox News, making Southwest Florida great every day. 92.5 Fox News.
In business, it's never just another day. Every day is the day that could bring your biggest order yet, or a new cyber threat. Whatever the day holds, with Comcast Business, you'll be prepared. With a network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses. Comcast Business Security Edge to help protect your connected devices, and a dedicated team available 24/7. Every day in business is a big day. We'll keep you ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with a great offer for $35 each a month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Want even more speed? Ask how to get up to 10 gigs for your small business. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today to find out more. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet and one voice mobility customers only. Early termination fee applies. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra, and subject to change. Security Edge not included. Actual speeds vary.
You'd think an Army veteran with a military career including multiple combat deployments throughout the Middle East would be a great American. And you'd be right. But Joe Vanderbosch also happens to be a great dentist. An Army veteran of 8 years, Dr. Joe now makes his home in Southwest Florida, where his wife Sarah grew up.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch, Freedom Dental on Metro Parkway in Fort Myers. In the Army, I received extra training in order to provide dental care in virtually any condition. That's why I can manage many dental treatments without the need to refer to a specialist. I served my country proudly for 8 years. Now I want to serve you in your dental needs. Special discounts for former and active military without dental insurance.
Dr. Vanderbosch provides emergency care and is now accepting new patients for cleaning, extractions, crowns, implants, and more. Find them online at freedomdentalfortmyers.com. That's freedomdentalfortmyers.com. Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch. Go to freedomdentalfortmyers.com.
Ty Lassiter here with Key City Capital. And we're super excited to be growing roots right here in Southwest Florida and are looking forward to being a part of this community for years to come. So why are we Key City Capital here in Southwest Florida? Well, at KCAP, our mission is to connect capital to wealth for all our clients and partners through passive real estate and alternative investments. Very simply, we generate and distribute double-digit returns for our investors by investing in single-family homes and apartments and unique alternative cash-flowing asset-backed investments.
If you're looking for significant returns from real estate and alternative investments without any risk of loss to your principal and without all the work of collecting rent or worrying about stock market volatility, call us today at 239-330-2080. That's 239-330-2080. 239-330-2080. Or check us out online today at kcap925.com. That's kcap925.com.
Hi, I'm Keith, the owner of Storm Shield Windows and Doors in North Fort Myers. And when it comes to hurricane windows and doors, you have two choices, Storm Shield and all the rest. Here's what our client Lauren had to say.
I work from home,
So my home is also my office. And when I'm working, especially since my office is in the back room, I get all of the daytime sunshine. When I'm sitting in my office, I can tell the heat of the day is coming in because it's coming in through my old windows. So one of the benefits I experience directly, day in and day out, is having cooler temperatures in my room as a result of getting Storm Shield windows. My old windows, the heat came in, the room got hot, my air conditioning continued to work harder, and now we don't have any of that.
Storm Shield's windows and doors reduce the exterior noise by up to 80%, and our clients typically see an average energy savings of 40%. Why choose Storm Shield? Because everyone deserves the best. Call us today at 239-491-7002 or visit stormshieldSWFL.com.
Lusk, Drasites, and Telesano believes winning cases is no accident. Your case is important. Pick a firm with resources to actually prosecute your case. If your case is accepted, you're guaranteed to not pay a single penny in fees or costs unless you get a favorable settlement or verdict. Lusk, Drasites, and Telesano has over 35 years of experience handling personal injury cases in Florida. Visit LDTlaw.com for a free consultation today. Winning is no accident. Lusk, Drasites, and Telesano. LDTlaw.com.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Shook. And then I looked out the window and you couldn't see. I thought it was like a storm or something coming in. And then what happened was when the dust cleared, there was the back half of the building, or back 2/3 of the building was gone.
It's hard to believe, and it's when you see it, it's hard to imagine this building, this condo collapse there on Miami Beach. Just north of Miami Beach and Surfside, and that is somebody who is a neighbor there. Over 80 Miami-Dade fire rescue on the scene trying to find survivors, at least half the building impacted by this collapse. And we continue to keep an eye on this story as it happened about 2 o'clock this morning on Collins Avenue. 12-story condo, Champlain Towers South condo, completed in 1981 according to the Miami Herald, more than 100 units. And the portion facing the beach just crumbled. When you see the video and you see even the pictures of the rubble, it's like a war zone, something that you would see. Just like it just kind of shaved off this side of the building. I can't even imagine. So not getting a lot of information on how many people have been hurt. I think the Surfside mayor confirmed one death, and we're still trying to get more word. And as we get more information on that, we'll have it for you. How this happened, it could be days or weeks before we know. But boy, it is just it's unbelievable to see. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. We appreciate you watching. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll do Drew's College of Political Knowledge, 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. We do it every day at 7:50. We'd love to have you join, play, and win. We always appreciate that as well. Also, the idea that we're going to spin our way, the media is going to spin their way out of critical race theory. They're going to have you convinced here in Southwest Florida, across the country, that this groundswell of parents who are making their way to school board meetings, that are making their way to message boards on places like Facebook and other locations, getting together to talk about this, to figure out what can be done, whether it's a school board, whether it's a principal of a school, whether it's teachers, that there is a real groundswell, and the left in this country wants you to think that it's all tinfoil hat conservative crazy maggots. I'm sorry, MAGA. Not my words, but Michael Eric Dyson, who went on to MSNBC yesterday. This is a professor, author, speaker, minister, political commentator, who made those comments, and I'm going to play that in just a second. But please don't tell us that this isn't something that, for example, teachers are looking at and getting upset about. Here is one Texas teacher who's upset about the fact that not only in the state of Florida teaching about the evils of communism and not teaching and not allowing critical race theory in schools. Here's one teacher who made their way to TikTok to let the world know, well, what a lot of people have been saying and concerns about some teachers.
This is what's bull. Today is the first time our country has recognized Juneteenth as a national holiday, and yet I'm getting ready to go back to school in the fall, and my governor has put into place some ridiculous legislation that many governors across the country have put into place, such as I can't teach anything divisive, I can't teach critical race theory, and I can't teach about racial equity. This is at all public schools, colleges, and universities. So, teachers, in the past, we've been activists. After the show of last year, we really need to stand up and do what's right for our kids right now. So, this is a call to action, teachers. We got to stand up and fight for our kids because this is bull. We can't lie to them.
Please don't tell us this isn't happening. Please don't tell us this isn't happening. And she said, what?
We've been activists.
In the past, you've been activists? I thought you were just teachers. What do you mean you've been activists? We just want you to teach our kids. You want to teach about slavery? Go right ahead. You want to talk about our past? Go right ahead. We didn't ask you to be activists. But there are a large amount of teachers, unfortunately, across the country that believe just that. That we're the problem, they're activists, and they're going to teach kids the way they see fit, and that's it. And it's not. And again, I guess I just ask, before we get to the Michael Eric Dyson audio, which is outrageous, as you can imagine, and you'll hear, the all of you maggots, MAGA, his words, and what he thinks, that I just don't understand why even here locally, listen, this is basic, this is simple. If you like somebody and you think someone is nice, a principal of a school or a teacher that's in your district or a school board member, and you know that they're teaching critical race theory or the ideology of critical race theory. Not that they're saying, hey, kids, today we're going to learn about critical. That's not what it is. It's the ideology. That because they're nice, number one, that you're not going to push back against that. Look, I like you as a person, but what you're doing is wrong, and I want you to stop. And then the second thing is how there are parents that will protect a district or a school and say, I love the school, I love the district, I love this individual, I think they're fantastic, I love what they're teaching in the school. Well, number one, do you know what they're teaching in the school? And the second thing is, we got to get past this mindset that there are only certain individuals that can do things in this world. This idea that there's only a handful of Republicans, for example, that can run for office, or there's only a handful of people in the federal government that could be in certain leadership positions and institutions, that the same people have to be recycled through, that there's nobody else on the face of the planet, or at least in the country, that can do the jobs that we keep recycling people through, that this idea that if you have a school that you're finding out critical race theory is being taught in the school, and this is what the teachers believe, that for some reason, if you want that to stop, that everything else is going to be bad afterwards. Don't do that. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope I'm making sense. It's okay for you to say, I want this to stop, but there are other things that I like about the school, and there's other things I like about what they're teaching that we can keep. Getting rid of the teaching of critical race theory, the idea of because of whiteness, white supremacy in the past, and the things that we did in the past, that inherently that white people are racist no matter what you do, and the only way to get things to some sense of normalcy is to tear down the institutions, that somebody would want to push that ideology on our kids. You do realize that you can have them stop that, but still keep everything else intact if if you like the way they're teaching math or science or any of those things, as long as none of that's being infiltrated into the lessons, you do realize you could do that. And there are people that will come in to make sure that that's exactly what's happening, that there's not one. It's the old argument that I've brought up in the past that how many times when there was, for example, a sheriff that you liked, that you really thought that if they were to leave, retire, or for some reason they that they were going to retire, that there was nobody else that could fill that position. You would never be able to get somebody as good. There's only one person that can do it, which of course is not true. To hold to that, like, don't do that. And so when you have somebody like Michael Eric Dyson, when you have people on MSNBC, when you have a very, 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 I'm talking very, very low-rated network and shows that are trying to push to maybe 100. I mean, like Joy Reid going after people and talking about critical race theory and how it's not what you think it is. And she's talking to an audience of something like 117,000. I think it's really that low. It's awful. But the point is not that she's talking to so few people. The point is that it only takes a few to make a change. As long as you have a willing media and a group of individuals in large that agree with what you're saying. In other words, just to put it plainly, is if you have 20% of the population that believes that critical race theory is bad, that we should not be doing this, that we're not going to teach our kids that because you're white, you're inherently racist, and that the Constitution and the legal system, the rule of law, everything we know has to be dismantled because you've been taught in a racist system. And so you don't even know that you're racist because the system has made you that way and you don't even realize it. So it's not just in your heart, but it's in your brain. It's all over your body. And the only way to purge it is to get rid of the system, which is critical race theory. That if there's 20% of the people that say no to this, and let's say 50 to 60% of the American people who are like, yeah, you're right, we agree with you, that's all it takes to make a movement to get rid of this. So if you think it's just a few people, because it happened the other way around. It's only been a few people that have taken us culturally down this radical road where, because of pressure, I mean, how many companies do you look at that are constantly doing something that has to do with pride or has to do with Pride Month or has to do with something with the LGBTQ community or has to do with, I don't know, fill in the blank, where you think to yourself, I wonder how much of that is really inherently what they believe and what they feel and what they think, and how much of that is really the pressure that has been put on them. Because if you don't do what we think you should be doing, we're going to dox you out of existence. We're going to make sure that your product is trashed. We're not going to allow, fill in the blank. We've seen it happen. We're not going to allow product placements. We're not going to allow it on, I don't know, in certain institutions. And so it's that insidious when you talk about how C.R.T. infiltrates. And here's Michael Eric Dyson, who, again, wanted to let everybody know.
I agree with Brother Tim in speaking about, the maggots. The MAGA. That is so corrosive.
Yeah. So one of the points that he was making, he started to say maggots. Oh, MAGA. So right there, you can already dismiss anything that's going to come out of his mouth as hate and divided, right?
But I resent, as an intellectual and as a black person in America, that we have taken the brunt of anti-intellectualism. We have borne the brunt of being disloyal to this nation, and we have stood by to see mediocre, mealy-mouthed, snowflake white men who are incapable of taking critique.
All right, so you can see where his messaging is going on MSNBC about critical race theory and the discussion, and it sounds... Well, you can hear how it sounds between maggots and snowflake to white men. And the conversation started with General Milley and the military and what he said about it, and the fact that we want critical race theory to be discussed in the military, and it's the way we're going to make it more cohesive, and I want to learn more about it. Do you know about it?
But boy, did M Square, Mark Milley, General, push back in a poignant fashion. I've read Mao Zedong. I'm not a communist. I've read Karl Marx. I'm not a Marxist. If you read a comic book, are you a comic? The point is that this man says we should be open-minded. He encouraged them to study what critical race theory is.
Study what critical race theory is? Has he studied what it is? It's about the dismantling of the Constitution and the legal system, and how because of white supremacy and white racism that we have these institutions to begin with. So the only way to solve the issue is to dismantle the institutions. So that's what you want taught in the military?
He knew its roots better than most of them. He knew it was rooted at Harvard Law School with the late great Derek Bell.
Why is that a good thing? That it's rooted in the legal system and professors who talked about it as this theory, and then it starts to permeate out into society, this idea, and then you have radicals on campuses who say, hey, we can make a political movement out of this. It sounds awfully Marxist because that's how Marxism ran as well.
Of course, now Professor Kimberly Crenshaw. And all critical race theory is saying as a theory of law is that it's not about individual acts of bigotry or bias or racism. It is a systemic and institutional network that must be somehow discerned and dismantled.
There you go. So why are you protecting teachers in Southwest Florida, in districts, and principals in districts, and school board members who believe we can't be world class unless we teach this? Unless people believe that we are so racist in this country and our founding is that we have to dismantle the Constitution, legal systems. I mean, he just said it. Why are you protecting that? Don't protect it. Your schools aren't going away. Board members may change, but there are other people that will believe in what you believe without having to dismantle the whole country to have a world-class education. All right, 239-479-5592. We'll get to more of that coming up. But it's right now. Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you're in a PhD right now. Call in number 5 at 239-479-5592. We will play Drew's College next on Daybreak 92.5. Fox News right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Kennedy at 3 and Drive Home with Trey Radel at 5. Now, back to Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
AMCO of Bonita Springs. Everyone's been affected by the pandemic, and I was definitely no exception. But here's the thing. I had an issue, a well-known issue, a lot of you know about. Kevin and Todd came to the rescue, effectively giving me my life back. They put their expertise to work on my transmission that was completely shot. His master mechanic told me that it was probably the worst transmission he's seen in his 30 years of working. And let me tell you, he knocked it out of the park. He helped me, and I'm sure he can help you as well. AMCO of Bonita Springs has been trusted in Southwest Florida since 2008. They've been through pandemics, recessions, you name it. They're located right off of Burnwood Drive in Bonita, an independent, conservative AMCO dealer whose award-winning customer service speaks for itself. They work on all makes and models, and they don't just do transmissions. They can do oil changes, normal maintenance, tires, you name it. For those of you out there with classic cars, there's no one I could trust more than Kevin and Todd with something I know you cherish and is so near and dear to you. So give Kevin and Todd a call at AMCO of Bonita Springs, 239-992-2626, 239-992-2626.
True relief for back and neck pain. Back or neck pain is not just unpleasant, it can be debilitating, preventing you from performing your daily routine and even confining you to bed. In decades past, patients suffering from spinal issues were often just given pain medication, spinal injections, and, when they did not heal, often underwent spinal surgery. Luckily, there is now another option, non-surgical spinal decompression. At Johnson Spinal Care 596 Back, we use an advanced technology to apply a completely safe unloading force to relieve nerve compression associated with bulging herniated discs, sciatica, stenosis, scoliosis, neuropathy. This award-winning approach, safe for any age, has gained international praise from physicians for its success. Complete pain relief is achievable. Johnson Spinal Care is here to serve you. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for an immediate, no-charge telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College. All right. Let's go to Ted. Ted's in beautiful Naples. How do I know? Because it says it's Ted from Naples. Hey, Ted.
Good morning, Drew.
Good morning. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you're in a PhD. Your associate's degree question starts right now. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Hey, can you name the 2 senators here that represent our great state of Florida? Our 2 senators.
Rick Scott and Marco Rubio.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got an associate's to see if you get a bachelor's degree on this question. The 2 parts of the United States Congress are...
The House of Representatives and the Senate.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got a bachelor's degree. We'll see if you get a master's degree on this very question. Jimmy Carter was the 39th president of the United States. Who was the 40th?
One of the best, Ronald Reagan.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got a master's degree. We'll see if you get a PhD on this question. It's kind of political. May or may not be tricky, and just something different. Remember Bill Clinton, former president of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's not the question. The question is, he famously played an instrument. You remember which one it was?
Not the cigar, the saxophone.
The saxophone is correct, sir.
All right.
Yeah, who's there with you, sir?
I have my 2 boys with me who are excited to say good morning. Say good morning.
Good morning. They're giggling in the background, too. Okay. All right, Ted, hey, listen, congratulations, and to you boys as well, because you do good work Googling. Helping your dad. Your dad's brilliant. He's just brilliant. He got a master's degree. Did he get a PhD? He got a PhD. He got them all right, didn't he? Yes, he did. All right. So,
yeah.
So you boys should be proud. A PhD for your dad. That's good, right? Say yeah.
Say yeah.
Yeah. They don't sound very enthused. Sorry for you, Ted. All right. Have a good day, my friend. We appreciate it.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News. This is 92.5 Fox News.
The only thing worse than hiring no law firm after your injury is hiring the wrong law firm. When thousands of people call us every year asking to help them change law firms, I wonder why they ever call the other firm. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. We are big for a reason, which is why we've recovered over $9 billion for our clients. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
We'll buy your car today, on the spot, and pay you $500 more than anyone else. It's the ultimate buyback event at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. 4 days only. Market conditions and a record month have caused a massive demand for your used vehicle, allowing Sutherland to pay more than ever for trade-ins. Up to 130% book value and $500 more than any other written offer. No purchase necessary. Sutherland Nissan will buy your car outright. You don't need to buy one of our cars. Bring your vehicle to Sutherland and get paid up to 130% value today. Hurry, this event ends 7 p.m. Sunday. It's the ultimate buyback event at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. Nobody in Florida pays you more for your old car than Sutherland. Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car megastore. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details.
The top 3 reasons why you should have quartz countertops from Rock Solid.
1.
Quartz countertops are truly elegant, practical, durable, and with Rock Solid's unbelievable price and selection makes for the best overall value.
2.
Quartz countertops from Rock Solid will never stain, are maintenance-free, and carry a lifetime warranty.
3.
Here's Natalie from Naples.
Every time I look at my quartz countertops from Rock Solid, it makes my heart smile.
Rock Solid. We don't stop at just countertops.
Just your smile.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
Wink News, traffic.
Good morning. Right now we have a crash we're watching in North Fort Myers with injuries at North Tamiami Trail right at Island Park Drive. If you're heading out that direction right now, no roadblock. Just watch out for some activity as deputies are working on getting that removed from the side of the roadway. Clear along 75. No issues out on US 41 as well, heading through Fort Myers down into Collier County as well. Getting busy, though, on Pine Ridge Road at Airport Pulling Road and seeing some slowdowns on Immokalee Road close to Logan Boulevard. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Well, happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. Get ready for additional thunderstorms developing, particularly as we head into this afternoon with increasing clouds and highs topping off in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Storms wind down as we head into tonight. We'll be off to what'll be a slightly cooler start for your Friday morning, a low near 73 degrees. Scattered thunderstorms developing again throughout the day with a high of 90. To kick off the weekend, look for additional scattered afternoon storms for your Saturday in a high of 92. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
It's not the Republican Party versus the Democrat Party.
Talking about what matters.
It's the Republican Party versus an organized crime syndicate.
92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. New South is the Florida window factory. Our windows are made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers, because we understand Florida weather. With New South Windows, you don't have to sacrifice energy efficiency or storm protection. Our Energy Star rated windows and doors are made with impact and non-impact options, giving you the best of both worlds. New South Window, home of your ultimate Florida window.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts up to 30%. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse, Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader and home of the no closing cost mortgage. No points, no hidden fees, no loan costs, period. If the mortgage you have right now was done prior to COVID-19, you should call us for a free review. At Mortgage Warehouse, we understand how frustrating it can be to make your mortgage payment month after month, and the loan balance just doesn't seem to go down. The payment is mostly interest, but we can help with that. We can combine near record low mortgage rates with our local no closing cost program to improve your mortgage payment right away. You do not have to roll any closing costs into your loan balance to get these ultra-low mortgage rates. You can apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com or call 313-5000. That's 313-5000. MortgageWarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154. Equal housing lender.
Hey guys, Dr. Amy here, your favorite chiropractor. We're back for your daily dose of Did You Know Chiropractic can help with that. And today we talk about cognitive function. Are you struggling with your memory, or maybe you notice that it's taking you longer to process information? Do you also notice that your reaction time is slower than it used to be? Maybe you've just decided that this is what getting old looks like, or maybe that's what some doctor has told you, that this is just from getting old. But studies actually show that getting regular chiropractic care, specifically getting adjusted in your neck, can dramatically improve your cognitive function. So if you struggle with memory loss, slowed reaction time, or slowed processing time, and you're wondering if chiropractic can help you too, call us at 239-628-4899. That phone number is 239-628-4899. And remember, your power is on.
Dr. Svetlana Kogan here, a board-certified internal medicine concierge physician on 5th Avenue South in Naples. Many of you wonder what holistic practice is. Well, good health is like a puzzle. It depends on how you perceive yourself, your environment, what you eat, your relationships, and lifestyle. It takes time and skill for the doctor to put these pieces of the puzzle together for you and come up with solutions customized to your specific needs. Holistic doctors believe that less medication is better and use preventive approach to keep you out of harm's way. This is also a concierge practice. Every patient gets my email and cell phone for emergencies and can be seen the same day if necessary. You are seen by me personally, and we take all the time that you need. You can visit my website, customlongevity.com. That's customlongevity.com to learn about how I, Dr. Svetlana Kogan, can help you feel healthy and balanced again.
from 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. You can watch there. It's mobile friendly, meant for your phone and your smart device. You can watch on your computer as well. Keeping an eye on this story, the large Miami area condominium that partially collapsed the early hours of the morning on Collins Avenue, just north of Miami Beach. And they're trying to locate survivors, people that are hurt. We don't have the exact numbers, still active scene. And if you've witnessed any pictures or video from what has happened there, it is just awful looking. It's hard to believe how this could possibly happen the way it did. And certainly in the days and months ahead, we'll find out more. But more than 80 units are on scene with assistance from multiple fire departments. So we keep an eye on that story out of Miami-Dade. And this partial building collapse there on Collins Avenue in, 88th Street? So we'll keep you up to date as we get more information. We will get that to you. All right, Congressman Byron Donalds is joining us right now on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. We always appreciate our Thursday visit, as I know he is busy, and it's great to speak with him always. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, Drew. I'm doing good. You know, the place is still crazy, but I'm doing good.
It is still crazy, and trying to make sense of it all. And crazy. I don't know where you want to begin with crazy today. Heck, we could start with, we could probably start with Joe Biden and just basically gun control. That's all I heard yesterday with the president's announcement. You know, you look at all the crime that's happening around the country, and the answer is to take away law-abiding citizens' guns. I mean, you've said it many times, and it seems like that's what we're looking at. Is that still your thought?
Listen, what I heard Joe Biden say yesterday is he was going to put the American Federation of Teachers in charge of gun confiscation because he had this whole flow between the ATF and the AFT. So,
that's true.
He just can't seem to get it right. But look, I mean, his policies are just going to go down the liberal line, ignoring facts, ignoring data, ignoring what we already know, ignoring police budgets, ignoring bad governance from Democrat mayors and Democrat governors. The only thing he can do is, frankly, stay with his liberal base because that's all he has left. Yeah. If you look at the polling, Drew, moderates have abandoned him. The Republicans have been abandoned him. We were never with him to begin with. Right. But even your squishy Republicans who are anti-Trump, they've abandoned Joe Biden. All Joe Biden has is the woke left, is the Marxist left, is the ultra-liberal left, because even rank-and-file Democrats are looking sideways at this guy. And so, you know, he has a real problem. They can't pass anything else. Like, here's some good news. I'll tell you, a couple of weeks ago, I was very, very concerned, and I was just kind of in a foul mood about this place. But when you have AOC and Ayanna Pressley and squad members going after Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, like, I just sit back and get a bucket of popcorn and just watch it happen. Yeah. Because they effectively killed whatever policy agenda they could have really gotten through this place, having the levers of power. And that's all because they went so radical, so hard, so fast, and the American people are rejecting it at every turn.
Yeah, you know, the first reaction that I have with the president and yesterday in the press conference about crime rates is, you know, I'm trying to figure out this is the problem with the policy. If you're somebody who believes that gun control has to happen, that the Second Amendment is something that should not be there, then what is your incentive if you believe that? And this sounds harsh, but people have talked to me about it. What's your incentive to really see crime go down? If you can demagogue and use hyperbolic statements about crime and guns and use that as leverage to try to make a point to the American people that it's really about guns and not about people, and that helps the narrative. If the numbers go down and we don't have any kind of fundamental changes to the Second Amendment or even to fundamental gun control laws, and these crime rates go down because you've changed the policies, then you've lost the narrative.
That's exactly right. And that's why he can't do that.
Yeah.
What you said is absolutely correct. If they do things like, Bill de Blasio sneaking money back into the New York City police budget, which is what he did, if they do these things like abandon this defund the police, or I know the leftists hate when I say that, reorganize police spending into having people who are mental health advisors and so on and so forth, if you actually go back to just policing the way we all know it to be and crime rates go down, then the entire liberal argument blows up in its face.
Yeah.
And that's why he has to double down. That's why he can't say the thing we all know is true, because it completely unwinds the political argument. You know, Drew, just like, voter ID.
Right.
Like we've been saying to the Democrats for years, voter ID is good. We have to have voter ID. They have said constantly it disenfranchises black voters. It stops people from being able to vote, which is an abject lie. And then the polling comes out and, by gosh, like 80% of every socioeconomic group, every racial group supports voter ID.
Right.
Like, who would have ever thought that was possible in America? And so now you got Stacey Abrams and the left having a backpedal saying, oh, no, we've always supported voter ID. Those are just Republican talking points. I mean, this is the mess that happens in our politics today,
right?
Because the left is wrong constantly.
Well, is that the slick by half that was going on with Sinema and Manchin and Stacey Abrams and Raphael Warnock and those that were saying, hey, we're for voter ID? It's because of Manchin's changes that he wanted to have, like having a utility bill be that identification to vote, as opposed to photo ID. Big difference. And so kind of trying to split the difference, because not only do they see the polling, but to make it seem like they can move forward with something, and even if they can make that subtle change, which it appears like the Senate Republicans were onto the game, but those kind of subtle changes are the kind of things you have to look out for. That's the kind of slick by half thing that goes on in D.C. that you've probably been noticing all along, right?
Oh, you're right. And actually, I'm going to bring you another slick by half thing that nobody's talking about. It's not been in any media report at all. There was a bill that came through the House last week. It's called H.R. 1187. It's effectively known up here as ESG. ESG is environment, social, and governance standards. What the left wants to do is put these subjective social standards around a percentage of your workforce, their racial background, their gender background, their gender identity background, their environmental greening quotas background, and have all that stuff be information that has to be disclosed when a publicly traded company, discloses to the street for quarterly reporting. They wanted to add these subjective liberal standards to just general information standards, like net income, turnover of cost of goods, the usual metrics a publicly traded company would have to put out to the street, so people would look at them and say, you know what, this is a good company to invest in. This is not a good company to invest in. They wanted to add these subjective standards to create a new classification of good companies versus bad companies. So on the House floor last week, I spoke on this bill and I called it liberal fascism, because that's exactly what this is. You cannot have politicians create subjective standards that companies have to live by, and they basically have to bow to the altar of leftism in order to get capital in their companies. That's not capitalism. That literally is Marxism. It is fascism. And that's the stuff the media, nobody's ever talked about that bill.
Wow.
Drew.
Yeah.
The House passed it. It passed the House because the Democrats all fell in line behind that bill. It is an atrocity to our economy if that bill ever becomes law. Now, it's not going to get out of the Senate because they didn't blow up the filibuster.
Right.
But that's the kind of stuff that's happening up here that even the American people don't even know about, that is so disastrous. And I would put that bill is right up there with H.R. 1 and some of the most radical bills that have come out of the House of Representatives in the 117th Congress.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to hear, and that's the worry of so many when it comes to politicians that you want to fight, you want to battle, you want to recognize this and not play the Washington games, but push back against this, because these are the kind of radical changes that people have been fearful of. And even when it comes to, and this is something we really haven't even had the discussion about, critical race theory. I can tell you, and you probably have heard all about it here in Southwest Florida, and all kinds of pushback here going on. Everybody's just like across the country, what we see. But the thing that, again, is slick that is being done now is I don't know how many people actually know, you bring up Marxism and fascism and literally what critical race theory is. If you had to pin somebody down, either people who claim to know it or people that claim not to know it, you probably would get the same answer. It's just kind of surface talk. You can't get people to get down to the core of it. And that is almost part of what the left has been using against us, which is that there's so little that's known about it specifically that you can kind of nibble around the outside and get people so confused by word salad on it that they could almost see your point. It's just something that's academic in colleges. It's not anything that's in schools. You don't see curriculum based on critical race theory. It's not, and they say all of these things, and people go, "Oh, all right. Well, it's just about teaching slavery. That's all it is. So what's wrong with that? What's wrong with teaching the history that we have that's bad?" And they spin it, and people get spun into a circle, and they're not sure who to believe.
You're absolutely right. And what's dangerous about critical race theory is, in some respects, it comes into the classroom. In most respects, it comes in through diversity and inclusion training, which is just about every school district, every college, every company, and yes, federal agencies, state agencies, local agencies, they all do this training.
Yep.
The people that conduct the training are critical race theorists for the most part. And so in those training modules, that's where critical race theory comes through. That's how you could have a general in front of a House committee yesterday with Congressman Mike Waltz out of the northern part of our great state, having to sit there and defend critical race theory. Why? Because he's been in these training modules for multiple years where critical race theory has actively been taught. Look, I keep it pretty simple on this topic, Drew.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to teach history, teach history. History is objective. There are dates, there are times, there are events that occurred that triggered other events. Those are objective truths. Teach it all. Teach the fact that, Jim Crow was actually a creation of a sub-element in the Democrat Party. Teach that kind of stuff. But that being said, critical race theory is a subjective review of history using race as a lens. It is subjective. It has been theorized by a handful of academics in the Ivy Leagues and in the upper crust of our university system. And it has their ideas have distilled down into all these critical race theorists that exist across the United States. So it is not objective. It is a subjective view by a handful of academics. And now we're being told that their subjective view is now the objective view. And that is not true, because in the process, you divide people, trying to unwind the ills of the country. You can't unwind the ills of the country by creating new ills. I don't know about you, Drew, but I know my mama taught me 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
But that's what the critical race theorists will have you believe. Like 2 wrongs make a right. It is wrong to divide people. It is wrong to have white people have to defend their whiteness. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
White people, don't defend your whiteness. Just be white people and be good people. That's all we want.
Yeah.
Just that simple.
Yeah, it is. All right, Congressman. I know you were busy, and we always appreciate our Thursdays together. A lot of people look forward to this, so I'm so glad you make the time for us. We do appreciate it, and we'll do this again next week. All right, I'll see you then.
All right.
Take
Sounds
it
good, Drew. See you guys.
All right, see ya. All right, 239-479-5592. It's Daybreak 92.5. Fox News right all along. Traffic. Here's Therese O'Shea.
Good morning. Right now we have a crash we're watching in North Fort Myers with injuries at North Tamiami Trail right at Island Park Drive. If you're heading out that direction right now, no roadblock. Just watch out for some activity as deputies are working on getting that removed from the side of the roadway. Clear along 75. No issues out on US 41 as well, heading through Fort Myers down into Collier County as well. Getting busy though on Pine Ridge Road at Airport Pulling Road and seeing some slowdowns on Immokalee Road close to Logan Boulevard. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Well, after a wet day yesterday, look for additional scattered thunderstorms developing especially this afternoon with increasing clouds and highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Scattered thunderstorms stay in the forecast for your Friday and Saturday with highs remaining in the lower 90s. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
The antidote to the anti-conservatives. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Does market turbulence and economic turmoil have you worried about your retirement nest egg? I'm Alfie Townsend. Learn how to navigate these uncertain times. Tune in to Saving the Investor radio show every Saturday at 9 a.m. or visit us at savingtheinvestor.com.
When it's hot, the last thing you want is your home's AC to quit on you. At 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating, our team of comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. From simple repairs to more complex fixes, we'll get you cool and comfortable quickly. Call 855-1-HOUR for $50 off your repair or visit onehourair.com and keep your cool. Beer.
Always on time or you don't pay time.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Ever purchased an online item and either it doesn't fit, has missing parts, or became damaged? Trying to save a few bucks can end up costing more. My Shower Door is a locally owned and operated family business that measures, manufactures, and installs our own brand of frameless shower doors right here in Southwest Florida. And we were just named Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. With almost 80,000 shower doors installed, we have the experience and expertise. Plus, estimates are always free. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
Got mold?
In your house?
What do I do now?
Call 239-936-1033.
Call Fire Service, your disaster response friends.
Fox News listeners, Saturday morning is the perfect time to talk boats and water fun in Southwest Florida. This is Adam Botana again from Baywater Sousa Boat Club. Join us every Saturday morning from 7 to 8 for the Baywater Boat Club Hour. We talk boats, fishing, boating hotspots, water quality, on top of Jake the Millennial and I just having fun on the radio. And if you don't have a boat, Baywater Sousa Boat Club has got you covered. Just call me, Adam, at 239-495-0455.
Every day in business is a big day. At Comcast Business, we'll keep you ready for what's next with the network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses. Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary. Call for details.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line streaming live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. We always appreciate you watching the program. Yeah, you know, I was just talking on the break about a couple of different things, and one of them was a point that we made earlier, and I think that the congressman brought it up, and it goes in a lot of different ways, which is the polling that is out there, that all of a sudden we're starting to see more and more polling. A Harvard-Harris poll that came out earlier talking about voter ID and how people care about voter ID and how across the board, independents, Democrats, Republicans, when you're talking about breaking it all down, ultimately you start to see more and more about how the American people want voter ID. They care about this. They care about the integrity of elections. That's why the stories will be coming up soon, because we're only days away from the end of the audit in Arizona. We're going to hear more about election integrity there. We're going to hear more about that. It's not going to go away. And we also had that Harvard-Harris poll talking about immigration and along the border, and how, believe it or not, more than 2/3 of the American people, we're not talking about it being close, 2/3 of the American people saying that the Trump border policies should have been kept in place, that they were working. We should have left them in place. You know, there's something to be said about what a small group of individuals that somehow have been given power, like the media, to tell us everything about what is and isn't. To try to tell us that everybody hated Donald Trump, everybody hated the policies, everybody, and fill in the blank, you know, conservatives crazy, tinfoil hats, all of the January 6th, right? But that the majority of the American people knew what was and is tangible. They understand what they witnessed along the border when the former president was in office and where we are today. The numbers speak for themselves. When Jen Psaki comes along and says, oh, no, listen, everything is much better. There's a reason why the vice president is going to the border. It's...
And I will note that we're at this point in part because we've made a great deal of progress.
We're at a 21-year high, 180,000 just in the month of May, illegals apprehended at the border. And who knows how many weren't. And who knows, we're going to be in the millions by the end of the year of apprehensions. That is not getting better, and everybody knows it. When we're talking about issues of voter identification and the common sense things that we would like to see, the American people across the board want this. When it's about crime, safety, and security, the American people across the board, everybody wants it. And they see what is happening in the uptick of crime across the country. The numbers are staggering in cities like Atlanta and New York and LA and Chicago, and they all see it and they know it. They live in those cities. They know what's happening. And you can't escape that the reality of all of these things coming to fruition, the things that were discussed earlier about the vid and the origins and how people were taken off of social media because of those comments, all of a sudden to find out that, wait a minute, there might be some truth to that. Well, hold on a second. The more that the truth comes out, even though that there are those that are trying to hide it, the more the American people see this and then start to examine even the little things. And wait a minute, have we been lied to? Hold on a second. Was it better before? Hold on a second. And a lot of that is happening now. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-200-1966. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-200-1966. That's 800-200-1966. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
This is State Representative Spencer Roach with an update on critical race theory, the latest attempt by the left to divide our country along racial lines by teaching kids to hate their country, hate themselves, and hate each other. It's total bullshit, and it's being promoted by leftist race baiters, peddled by the teachers union, and pushed into student textbooks. But on June 10th, Florida's Board of Education voted to ban critical race theory from being taught in public school classrooms, and you have my word that I'll file legislation to give this ban the force of law. I'm going to fight this state-sanctioned racism in every classroom, every courtroom, and every corner of the great state of Florida, because our children deserve nothing less. This is Spencer Roach, and I'm proud to be an American patriot, because we are the good guys. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and never give up, never give in, never back down, and never forget that this is your government and they work for you. Sponsored by Friends of Spencer Roach, P.O. Box 3179, North Fort Myers, Florida, 33918.
Are you one of the millions of homeowners who haven't refinanced yet? If so, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Hi, I'm Wesley Hoagland with Westland Financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview mirror, as the economy recovers from the biggest economic shock of our lifetime, rates still remain near historic lows. In fact, with the dramatic increase in home values, this may be the perfect time to put that new home equity to work. Take advantage of our cash out refi program and pay off high rate credit cards, car loans, or other high interest rate debt. Or finally make those home improvements you put on hold for so long. Best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right, whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. So call Westland at 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. 888-455-3669.
NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. At least one person is killed in a partial building collapse in Surfside, Florida, near Miami.
There were a number of people who saw the oceanfront apartment building collapse at about 1:30 this morning.
When the dust cleared, there was the back half of the building, or back 2/3 of the building was gone. It's down to the ground.
The rubble is being searched now using canines. Some people are being pulled alive, including a young boy, but there are still a number of missing people.
Fox's Evan Brown. President Biden meets with a bipartisan group of senators today about a possible compromise on infrastructure spending. And an antivirus software entrepreneur and former fugitive is dead.
John McAfee has died by an apparent suicide in a Spanish jail cell, hours after reports surfaced that he would be extradited to the U.S. to face criminal tax evasion charges, according to local media. John McAfee was 75.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink Weather Authority.
Well, happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. Get ready for additional thunderstorms developing, particularly as we head into this afternoon with increasing clouds and highs topping off in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Storms wind down as we head into tonight. We'll be off to what'll be a slightly cooler start for your Friday morning, a low near 73 degrees. Scattered thunderstorms developing again throughout the day with a high of 90. To kick off the weekend, look for additional scattered afternoon storms for your Saturday in a high of 92. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
There's the left way, and then there's the right way. 92.5 Fox News.
It's Big Al from Stevie Tomato's Sports Page. Do you feel American pride and want to shout, God bless America? As a son of immigrants who came through Ellis Island, I stand when the national anthem plays and get emotional thinking of those who have sacrificed for America's greatness. At Stevie's, we're filled with gratitude for our great customers and the country we live in. The firemen, police, emergency service, construction workers, and those who go about each day providing the foundation for our country. We love our customers and express our gratitude with our food, service, and value. Thankful for your dedication for what you do. And to all our great customers, show your love for this great country by going to any Stevie's. Stand at the bar and say loud and clear for all to hear, God bless America, and I'll buy you a 10-ounce beer. Restrictions apply in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. God bless America.
Stevie Tomatoes, Sports Page. Come for the food. Stay for the sports.
Searching everywhere for great prices on appliances? No, you're not, because you have better things to do. Besides, Good Deals has it for less, and they have plenty of items in stock despite shortages everywhere else. Remember, Good Deals guarantees the lowest price on everything they sell. Find a lower price anywhere, and Jay will beat it, guaranteed. Visit one of the showrooms in Fort Myers, Naples, and Cape Coral, or shop online at GoodDealsAppliances.com.
Good Deals Appliances. Have we got a deal for you?
License number CCC 1333045.
Storm safety starts at the top. When the wind and rain come, count on Crown Residential Services to make certain your roof is storm ready. After all, it should never rain inside your house. Crown offers repairs, replacement, free estimates, and the Crown Guard maintenance program, so you can be prepared and stay prepared. Is your roof ready? Not sure? Count on Crown. Call 855-CROWN-55. That's 855-CROWN-55. Make sure your biggest investment is absolutely protected. Call 855-CROWN-55.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
Are you looking to have built or repaired a shingle, metal, or tile roof? Do you want to hire a company where the owner personally inspects your job and every job? Hello, I'm Jimmy Williamson of W.B. Williamson Brothers Roofing. But the answer is yes. 844-WB-BUILT. W.B. Williamson Brothers Roofing represents the fourth generation of a tradition that began with my grandfather back in 1967. And it's a tradition of building something that you can be proud to put your name on. If you need a quote for the construction or repair of a shingle, metal, or tile roof, call me, Jimmy, 844-WB-BUILT. Or visit us at 2944 South Street in Fort Myers. Williamson Brothers Roofing also specializes in stand and seam metal roofs and commercial flat roofs. Satisfied clients include Florida Gulf Coast University and Pensacola State College. Call Williamson Brothers Roofing at 844-WB-BUILT. That's 844-WB-BUILT. That's 844-WB-BUILT.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, 239-479-5592. The talk and text line streaming live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. We appreciate you visiting the website. You hear that? I don't think you can hear it right this minute. You could, yeah? They're doing something in the building. I don't know what's going on. All right, time for the top 5 audio clips of the day. Here we go. It's a 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
You look at all the efforts China's made to suppress an actual honest investigation into the causes. We really do need the global community to put pressure onto China to cooperate. And frankly, we're just going to have to conduct our own independent analysis. And it's time for scientists to use actual science, not political science.
Yeah, well, that's going to be kind of tough. That's a congressman there from Ohio, Warren Davidson, Republican, who is saying we need the global community to put pressure onto the origins of COVID and put the pressure on the Chinese government to try to find out whether or not they covered it up. And the problem is you've got a lot of countries around the globe who depend on China and don't want to do anything like that. The same way that they don't want to put the pressure on Russia because, I don't know, maybe Nord Stream 2 is feeding them needed resources like oil to their country, and that concern as well. I don't know if you're going to get a lot of that, but certainly there is that discussion about China and origins. And there is a little more to this story that I wanted to bring up coming up in just a second.
Number 4.
I can't teach critical race theory, and I can't teach about racial equity. This is at all public schools, colleges, and universities. So, teachers, in the past, we've been activists. After the show of last year, we really need to stand up and do what's right for our kids right now.
I didn't know. Is that the job of teachers, to be activists? Is that what they do? I mean, what they do on their own time, that's fine. But teachers in the classrooms, activists? There's one Texas teacher who's absolutely losing her mind. Because in Texas, as well as Florida and other states, the concern that governors have about teaching critical race theory in schools, and we're not having it here, and how she's losing her mind. And we got to get together, teachers. We got to get together and figure out what to do and push back. And I can't do this. And this, really? But it's not happening. Teachers aren't talking like that. Everything is fine. Move along.
Number 3.
We have 15 family units, I believe, that we're making arrangements with the Red Cross, and they're going to be getting them into hotel rooms. We also have a building next door, which is a hotel with about 50-something units, and those people have to be displaced too because it's not safe for them to go back into the hotel next to this building.
Unreal story, keeping an eye on it. At least one person dead. First responders searching right now, search and rescue missions. Part of a condo collapse in Surfside. They're just north of Miami Beach, on Miami Beach, right on the water there at Collins Avenue. And that's the mayor, Charles Burkett of Surfside, who is telling WSVN in Miami that the town's already working to help families displaced. There's a hotel right next to it that they're going to have to move people out as well, and keeping an eye on that story. And the collapse is just, when you see the video, you see the pictures, it's horrific.
Number 2.
I agree with Brother Tim in speaking about, the maggots. I'm sorry, the MAGA. That is so corrosive in this, political moment.
Yeah, nothing to see here in this political moment of critical race theory and things that are happening in the country. There is Michael Eric Dyson, who's on MSNBC, who's calling Trump voters maggots. Oh, I mean MAGA, sorry. And went on to talk about mediocre, mealy-mouthed snowflake white men and his concern about critical race theory, saying it's not about individual acts of bigotry or bias, it's the systemic and institutional network that should be somehow discerned and dismantled. Those that are backing teachers and principals and school boards and districts that think that it's okay to teach critical race theory, that it's all about something else, you realize it's not about something else. It's about the dismantling of our Constitution, our rule of law, and tearing all of it down. Is that really what you want?
Number 2.
I agree with.
No, we're up to number 1. Yep, push the wrong button. All right, make believe like you didn't hear that. It's number 1.
Number 1.
The Second Amendment from the day it was passed limited the type of people who could own a gun and what type of weapon you could own. You couldn't buy a cannon. Those who say the blood of patriots, and all the stuff about how we're going to have to move against the government. Well, the tree of liberty is not water with the blood of patriots. What's happened is that there never been, if you wanted to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons. The point is that there's always been the ability to rationally limit the type of weapon that can be owned.
Yeah, really? Okay. There's the president of the United States, Joe Biden, who, the whole press conference yesterday about soaring crime rates and bringing Merrick Garland in and talking about these crime rates and the focus on guns and purchases of guns and law-abiding citizens and guns. It's all about guns, everybody.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
That's all it is. The soaring issue in crime is guns. And you might even say that, boy, do Democrats really want to make crime better in their cities, like New York, Chicago, Dallas, and L.A., and places where, I don't know, Chicago, 54 people shot, 10 people died. I mean, I'm just wondering, constantly we're hearing about the uptick in crime in major metropolitan cities and around the country. And I don't know, do you really want to fix it? Because it almost feels as if you don't, then you can make the case that it's the guns and we got to get rid of guns. And you can make the case for gun control because people are in those cities and in the country and hearing this and say, do something, do anything. Oh, okay, gun control, that'll do it. Which, of course, it won't. But it sure feels that way, that's the angle that the president is taking. And I'm just glad that he's very clear and succinct when it comes to the issues in specific communities, police chiefs, and what they've been able to do, right?
Police Chief Murray of the Baltimore, Police Chief Murphy, Paul of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Is it bigger letters? Is it a slower teleprompter? Does the teleprompter need to be the side of the back wall that he's facing? Does he need to face away from people? I mean, what is it? What can we do to make it more coherent for the president to speak? It's anyway. All you need to know is yesterday's press conference was all about taking away your Second Amendment rights and your guns and talking about what are you going to do? You need F-15s, maybe some nuclear weapons. So don't go to F15serus.org because you're not going to be able to do it, not with this administration. And also, don't go to nucleararsenal.net. Don't go to that website because we're not going to allow you to. What are you talking about? Even David Orsani was a Second Amendment expert, somebody who's been on this program numerous times, somebody who writes for National Review, and somebody who has a book all about guns. He wrote a book on it. I mean, he actually wrote a book on it. And even he said, never once did he run across any law that restricted Americans from owning any weapons they desired, unless we're talking about blacks and Indians, because most gun restrictions in U.S. history have been employed to unarm the people who need weapons most. The idea of the federal government conducting any kind of domestic gun policy whatsoever would have been a completely alien concept to anyone before the 1930s. Even then, those specific guns or types of guns were banned from use. It wasn't really until 1986 that fully automatic guns were effectively banned by the federal government. But, you keep running with the narrative because it's all about the guns. It's not about the people and everything. Yeah, and police are bad and, gotcha. Everything else that he says when it comes to police and helping communities is just lip service because ultimately you're not out to help. So there's that story. The frustrating story about Michael Eric Dyson and MSNBC and Joy Reid and those that are going after critical race theory and this idea that the military should know more about it and should understand critical race theory and like General Milley, how dare you offend me by saying that we're woke or something like that. Yesterday being questioned on Capitol Hill, you had Joint Chiefs General Milley who wanted to respond to Matt Gaetz's question to Secretary Austin about critical race theory and his concerns. And so General Milley decided that he was going to comment on this as well.
On the issue of critical race theory, et cetera, I'll obviously have to get much smarter on whatever the theory is.
A lot of us have to get much smarter on what the theory is, but I want you to follow this. Listen.
But I do think it's important, actually, for those of us in uniform to be open-minded and be widely read. And the United States Military Academy is a university. And it is important that we train and we understand, and I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it. So what is it that caused thousands of people to assault this building and try to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America? What caused that?
Okay, so he's spinning from critical race theory to January 6th, which is pretty interesting. And what caused that? And he's talking about is it white rage? Is that what you think it is? Is that what your critical race theory knowledge has taught you to? And again, before I go on with this, I just want you to know and understand, again, simple definition, just a simple explanation of those who put together critical race theory in our institutions, professors, Delgado and Stefanik, who put this together, critical race theory, an introduction, talking about how whites are racist. Many critical race theorists and social scientists alike hold that racism is pervasive, systemic, deeply ingrained. If we take this perspective, then no white member of society seems quite so innocent. In other words, you don't even know you're racist. You're racist not only because you're white, but because white supremacy that created this racism, that created this country, it's systemic. You've been indoctrinated into this, all of this racism through the institutions, like the Constitution and the legal system. And they believe that all of these have to be torn down. It's their words. So when General Milley goes on now and says things like,
I want to find that out. I want to maintain an open mind here, and I do want to analyze it. It's important that we understand that because our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians, they come from the American people. So it is important that the leaders, now and in the future, do understand it. I've read Mao Zedong. I've read Karl Marx. I've read Lenin. That doesn't make me a communist. So what is wrong with understanding, having some situational understanding about the country for which we are here to defend?
Okay, here to defend the country that, if you read critical race theory and what they wrote about it, defending a country that you're telling people in the military doesn't need to be defended, it needs to be torn down. Why would you defend a country that needs to be torn down? Did you even read it? General Milley, do you have any clue? I mean, really, that's an honest question.
And I personally find it offensive that we are accusing the United States military, our general officers, our commissioned, non-commissioned officers, of being, quote, woke or something else because we're studying some theories that are out there.
Okay, he's offended. He's offended that we're studying theories and you say that we're woke or something else. I guess it is offensive. Woke or, he's right. How dare you say that the military is woke or something else? I mean, what would give me one example, just one single example of how the military is woke? You can't even come up with something that's
breaking news.
A bombshell. Oh, this just in. Hey, maybe this will do it. The U.S. Air Force Base that had to respond to a controversy because they had a drag queen show hosted by the base. And they said that the performance was, quote, essential to the morale, cohesion, and readiness of the military. You mean that kind of woke? Yeah, they had their first ever drag queen show on June 17th. It was important in teaching military personnel the, quote, significance of drag in the LGBT plus community. Is that what you... What? He's mad that I would suggest that it's No, it's okay. What does he say?
And then we had a Civil War and Emancipation Proclamation to change it. And we brought it up to the Civil Rights Act in 1964. It took another 100 years to change that. So look I do want to know. And I respect your service, and you and I are both Green Berets. But I want to know. And it matters to our military and the discipline and cohesion of this military.
Okay. So it matters. Nobody said you can't learn about the past. But again, has he even read critical race theory? Does he even know what it says? And again, all right. So that's there. So that was an interesting exchange. And again, there are many people, you talk about Michael Eric Dyson and talking about MAGA. And what they think about the former president. And then by default, you and, MAGA and being, the group that you are that clearly is someone who doesn't want to learn about our past, or, I don't know, you might be racist or some kind of Istrophobia to begin with just because, Trump. What other things would governments do to keep us from knowing the truth about things, or what's going on in our military, or what's going on in the military and the leadership structure, not the individuals, but the structure in the military, or maybe even the structure of our government, places like the CIA and the FBI, and the questions that you have. I mean, in no way, shape, or form could it be possible, or would it be possible that you would maybe do something like hide information because you're so worried about it getting out that somebody like Donald Trump could have been right all along. See what I did there? And you would be willing to hide the defection of someone from China because they could have information that would prove that Donald Trump was right. And rather than tell the world that he was, and to show everybody what actually happened with the coronavirus, that you would rather hide that information, hide those facts, and maybe even send somebody who defected to this country back to China before anybody found out? It was Dan Bongino and others, quite honestly, who have been talking about this. He brought it up yesterday, and I wish I had more time to dig into this, but this story through Red State, talking about this high-ranking member of the Chinese government, known to be Dong Jingwei, the country's top counterintelligence official, defecting to the U.S. Multiple sources within the U.S. intelligence community who received briefings on the matter told Red State details about his defection, and that officials at the Defense Intelligence Agency had high confidence in the information that he was providing, including information showing that the Wuhan Institute of Virology is in fact a military bioweapons research lab completely controlled by the People's Liberation Army, and that the virus we now know as SARS-CoV-2 was engineered in the lab. Information from that defector was used by an expert virologist and a scientist formerly the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in conjunction with previously available public information about the virus's genome, and that they know that it was engineered in the lab. The point is this. Where is he? Is he being held by the U.S. government or not? And is it possible? The suggestion is being made because we're hearing that, no, he's in China. Newsweek had a story about it. No, he's not here. But there are others who say, no, he is. Is it possible that the reason why nobody has seen a picture of this individual and nobody knows if he's here or not is because rather than everybody admit that Donald Trump may have been right about the virus and the origins, and nobody bothered to look into it because politics, because of the because of MAGA, that they would much rather have this individual, I don't know, maybe go back and not allow this information to come out because it could be, embarrassing? Because it could prove that he was right. It could prove that institutions didn't do due diligence and look into all of this because Trump? That is something that's being suggested. It's something that's being talked about. I don't know if we'll find out more in the coming days and weeks, but I can tell you that a lot of people have questions. And knowing what we know about the Russian collusion hoax, about impeachment not once but twice, about all the things that the FBI and the CIA were willing to do, and no. It's awful to think about. I know. Maybe we'll talk about it more tomorrow. All right, Glenn Beck is next. Have a great day. We'll see you then. In the meantime, let's find out how the remainder of our forecast is shaping up with Wink News meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Well, after a wet day yesterday, look for additional scattered thunderstorms developing especially this afternoon with increasing clouds and highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Scattered thunderstorms stay in the forecast for your Friday and Saturday with highs remaining in the lower 90s.